difficulties.
Technical difficulties, people. Don't worry about it. We are here. It's just that this thing, it has a mind of its own. Let's go. It wouldn't be a Monday if it wasn't technical difficulties. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man probably presents, you know what it is, comic book talk with friends. It's Monday night. So if you're here, you already know what time it is, and we are ready to go in. But thank you guys out there for being here. Very special night, very special conversation that we're going to have tonight. Again, if you're new to this, every weekend here on out, we'll actually be featuring a special artist on each and every episode, followed by a body of work, books, or pretty much a run that we thought is worth talking about, and then some other ish we'll actually cover. But anyway, we thank you guys for basically being here. All out conversation about comics, the things that we actually love, the things that, and this is probably why we all got started and why you're all here with us. So we welcome you aboard and thank you for being here. But I can't do it without my co-hosts, people that actually keep me going. What's going on with y'all, bro? What's going
What's
on?
good? What's good?
Uh, Vinny, what's going on with you, brother?
Chilling, man. Got the tree in, got it halfway set up, got the lights on. Looking forward to getting up. All the ornaments on. Somehow my tree has turned into like uh a geek room in and of itself with all the different displays and dioramas I set up within it. It's become the Geekmas tree, so I'm looking forward to diving in and getting that all set up and putting up the
Yeah,
new
yeah,
stuff I got for it.
yeah,
But other than that, just chilling, man. All caught up with Wednesday and just appreciating the slight lull of anything major to have to focus on watching and getting Christmas shopping and cleaning and work. Always
yeah.
something.
Getting everything out the way. That's what it's
Yeah,
all
man.
about. You already know,
Absolutely.
man. We already know. That's how it works. Uh, Butt naked. What's going on with you, bro? How you doing, man?
Good man. Yeah, today was a good day. I actually got a couple additional David Mack covers
Mhm.
comics in the mail today. Actually, so it's fitting because we're doing this tonight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I actually also got in a hot toy today that I think very few people actually bought. I might be
Mhm.
one of the very few people that bought, but it's been a while since I've actually been, fairly excited about a hot toy, and it's Johnny Silverhand.
Mhm.
So anybody who enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077, it's actually a pretty damn good looking figure, I got to say. But yeah, man, I've been looking forward to today because probably, I mean, how big I am, like a fan of Alex Ross, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't even come close to how big of a fan I am for David Mack. That's not judging one's talent over the other. It's just style and just what I gravitate toward. And I have countless like books of David Mack's work, writing, art, covers, interiors, everything. So this was a big one for me to look forward to tonight. So I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely, man. Glad to have you here to talk about this. Like I said, everybody out there, so glad to have you on board with us. Some minor technical difficulties in the beginning, but we worked it all out. Also, we will have Jedi Kid back in the flesh later on. He's um,
He's on the
doing a
way.
couple things. He's on his way. As a matter of fact, my brother's here now. I mean, this dude, he doesn't require any introduction. You know what I mean? He's the master of ceremony himself. He's the Jedi pimp. If you get smacked by baby powder by this dude, I guarantee you it will hurt. But it hurt in style. Let me bring in my man, my mellow. What's going on, brother? Welcome back, man. What's going on with you?
What's going on, man? Hold on, let me see.
Bro, Why did I just hear your
There
laugh?
you
That
go.
was funny, bro. You hear his laugh just now, Vinny? He's like,
What's good, bro? How you
man.
been,
What's
man?
going on, fellas?
What's going
Welcome
on,
back,
man? How you
man.
doing, bro? Welcome back.
Sorry for why you had to be away for a minute, man, but glad you're home.
Yeah, definitely, man. Glad you're back.
Man,
You hear us?
hold on. Wait, it's going out a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we
I
hear
hear you. Yeah, we hear you.
All right, cool. I hear you.
All right, cool. You can hear us because we can definitely hear you.
I gotta turn it down. Am I too loud?
No, you
No,
straight.
you're good.
You're good. You good money.
All right,
We hear
cool.
you.
Cool.
Yeah, we definitely hear you, man. How was everything, man? How you
Fellas.
doing, brother?
Crazy week, man.
Yeah.
But we got through it, bro. Yeah, crazy week, but we got through it. So, start of a new week. It's good to be here with you, fellas.
Yeah.
Definitely glad to be here
man.
with you, fellas, man. So
Definitely,
let's talk
bro.
this Daredevil art.
Hell yeah, man. So glad to have you here, bro. So glad to have you back. It's going to definitely be
No
interesting conversation tonight. But before we jump in and before I address the chat, definitely want to go ahead and put this out there again. Like I said, it's information that I always, want to let y'all know what's going on. So we do a little bit of what we call house cleaning. Stole that from a couple of folks, but don't worry about it. Hey, it's just a compliment. Anyway, we do actually have the again Christmas initiative going forward. All donations, special donations, everything that you actually donate towards such a worthy cause, and this is to make sure that kids and families are able to actually enjoy Christmas, enjoy the Christmas holiday. And make sure that again they don't go without. All super chats proceeds. I told you everything that actually I get in goes straight to such a worthy cause. Has been since Halloween. So the motherfucker broke, but it don't matter. It's going towards a worthy cause. We want to make sure that everybody is able to basically celebrate. So again, this is the Christmas initiative. We want to pay it forward. We want to make sure that people are able to celebrate and enjoy the holidays like we are. Not everybody is as fortunate. And we want to make sure that we change that and that they are able to enjoy it. So anyway, thank you guys and everybody out there who have contributed. It's been such, I'm overwhelmed and so humbled by it. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to go ahead and address the chat real quick while we got some time to do so. Let me bring this up really quick. Shout out to Amber Mate in the building. Let's see who else we got out there. Two Ferns is in the building. Thank you so much. We got Renz Talentino out there. We got the great Renz Talentino. Mikey Lito. Benjamin Green is in the building. Thank you for being here. Malika Mabane. Two Ferns. Man, what is in the building? Dingleberry is in the building. He says Daredevil the GOAT. Let me see who else we got in here. Mr. Mom's Collectibles. My guy, Mr. Mom's. Thank you for being here, brother. Definitely. I'm so glad to have you here, man. SpongeBob Square Balls is in the building. Thank you for being here as well, man. So we definitely got a lot to cover, man. So glad to have everybody here. Single songwriter in the building. OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. Thank you for being here as always, man. So here's the thing. Before we jump into everything with the Mac, I do right off the top want to talk about just a few things, just some minor things, just to get this out there. Everybody out there, I said it on a couple shows. I'm going to say it on this one as well. The Focus Watch is retired, so we will no longer be doing Focus Watch. Just to let you know, that has been retired. That is out the door. So we are no longer doing Focus Watch. That's been deleted. We just want to kind of put that aside. So running joke, I guess. And we want to make sure that running joke doesn't continue. No hard feelings. We're just throwing that to the side. Anyway, besides that, also one other issue. Now, Vinny, this is going to piss you off a bit. I know it is. It's going to piss you off because I know we're not going to get to that, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I can't really call it a spoiler because it's out in the news right now. It's happening. We are going to see. I'll just say it to you this way. We're going to see Blue Marvel.
Okay.
We're going to see Blue Marvel. Yeah, we're going to see Blue Marvel in a movie.
But
it's not going to be the person that you want.
It's going to be in the Marvel's joint?
Yeah, but it's not
Wait,
gonna
wait,
be the
wait.
person that you want.
It's a female now, isn't it?
No, it's not a female. It's a male, but it's somebody that we really don't know, which is
It's
cool.
a white dude.
No, it's just it's a
I wouldn't be
black
shocked.
dude, but it's just that it's somebody that we wouldn't, and which I'm cool with that. But
Wait,
I don't know if it
they
was
cast it because
He's really dragging this out.
they sort of
Yeah.
cast it. They
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
cast him. They sort of so from what they're saying is they cast him already.
Mhm.
We'll just have to basically see how he's going to be portrayed in his film. We don't know yet. So I wanted to address that real quick, but also one other thing. Jedi Kid, remember that thing you put up earlier, or you were telling us about earlier about the whole Indiana Jones and how they did a test screening and they found out that it was that at the end of it, she picks up the hat and becomes a new Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's gonna get erased from time.
Yeah, no, the director debunked that. He debunked everything. He said there was no test screenings at all. He said that there was no test screenings. None of that was true. Indiana Jones is not getting replaced. He said that was what it was. It was somebody who was very disgruntled about the film who put that post up, and they did it to get clicks and likes.
Dude, I dropped that in our group chat like 2 weeks ago and told you.
No. I mentioned it to you guys in the group chat about it, and I never said nothing about it. What you said that
but the director came out today and put it up.
He came out 2 weeks ago.
So he said
no. But it was extended today.
Okay,
there was extended conversation.
Because like 2 weeks ago, James Mangold was like, "You guys are believing trolls in their parents' basement."
Yeah, he elaborated on that.
We're never replacing Indiana Jones. That's not
Mangold elaborated on that. He went in deep on it. Like he just went in deep because of what was out there and what was basically being said. So I just wanted to kind of address that real quick.
So the whole time travel thing's not happening then?
What? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
There is an element in what is understood
supposed
as the plot.
to be.
There is an element of like basically a supernatural kind of, just like the Ark of the Covenant in the in the first movie, that there is something that can actually kind of control time and stuff. It's very similar to,
we won't go too much deep in it because again we haven't seen the trailer.
That's just what they've said. But the whole,
it was debunked.
That whole thing was debunked. She's gonna pick up the hat and replace him and stuff like that. That was just that was a troll.
It was a troll, a bag of shit.
Fears about like another female replacement or something, because they knew that would get people riled up. So that's the rumor they put out there. It was complete horseshit. There was no basis to it, but they knew people would get riled up over it.
Yeah. So that did just. Again,
that's why I mentioned to you guys. I heard it like 3 weeks ago, and I told you guys about that shit.
Yeah, like, don't even put that aside. The director was kind of pissed about it today too. Like,
you moved off of Blue Marvel like real quick. I had to. I'm sitting here looking up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Blue Marvel.
So
like,
why do you think I'm mad? Because the kid's too young.
Well,
they picked the baby.
Yeah,
it's a baby.
Who's playing it? Who's playing it?
It's a relatively unknown name, Shamir Anderson.
Shamir Anderson. He's from
Canadian actor.
Yeah, he's from he played in the what is it called? It was I guess it's basically a show on FX, or I don't know. He's been from a couple of different shows. He's a relatively unknown, but the thing is, I kind of expected that they would do that. Yeah, this dude. That's the
how old is this guy?
31.
Yeah,
he's a kid.
So I said, baby.
Yeah, they're taking a different route with this.
I think they want. I think the idea is that for a relationship, they want his age to be a little bit closer to Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, they wanted it to be a bit. Yeah, so.
Yeah, the dude is young, but like as long as he can play the role, man, who cares? There are actors who are 70 playing.
Like, he's supposed to be a mentor to Monica, bro, not like her brother or boyfriend.
The age thing is gonna be an issue, but this motherfucker better be smart. I'm tired of him taking away
the
intelligence from every black male superhero. Like, you don't gotta give it to like, I don't know. He better not have a dude in the chair. He better be a smart one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as they don't dull down the character, then I'm fine with it. I just
he's like the Marvel's Black Superman, pretty much.
I want to see how
Except
they're
he's
going to
smart as
pull this
hell.
off. I want it, but here's the thing: is I do understand that they have to go this route because again, they're looking at longevity, and I understand that from Marvel's standpoint. They're looking at longevity, where they could take this character. I mean, if you start somebody out, at a much older, it's not going to make, especially with Monica Rambeau's character, it won't really kind of make sense. So they want to kind of start it off a certain way. But here's the thing. We're saying that, but that's not to say that they're even going to take that route and that Monica's even going to have a relationship with this dude. You never know. They might not even explore that option.
They could also gray up the side of his hair and stuff and make him look a little bit older, but they can control it rather than casting somebody who's older that maybe will age beyond what they want.
It's an ongoing issue with comic book properties in general, though. They always have to try to cast somebody really young to be more approachable. You know what I mean? Like I mean, Sony's really guilty of it with Craven and Madam Web now, and of course May, but I don't know. Yeah. I just hope he's intelligent and doesn't need to tell jokes every 5 minutes because Blue Marvel's a serious dude.
Right.
Yeah. Not gonna lie though, with after having seen Bullet Train, I'm a little bit more open to what's his name as Craven now. After seeing him in Bullet Train, I'm a little bit more open to it.
No, I'm not. I get why you like him in Bullet Train, but I don't
Craven,
like him for Craven.
Craven, the animal lover. I'm just not feeling that, bro.
I mean, he's a great actor, but he's a child. And
I'm just saying, as an actor, I'm more open.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah, Craven's supposed to be
he's a good actor. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Oh well,
but this guy looks way too young to be.
I'll say this at least. I mean, what?
I'm glad we're getting him.
You know what's crazy? I didn't hear that at all today. How is that possible? That
me neither.
I didn't see that on any of the major sites or anything like that.
This was like 5 days ago, dude.
Yeah, this was a couple days ago.
I haven't heard anything about it. That's
about Blue Marvel.
This casting news was last week, but it was like under the radar.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I've been under the radar for like a week, bro. So I missed that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I went got past me.
Yeah.
I mean, good though. I mean, that's what's up.
I hope he kills it.
You just hope. So your main concern is the level of intelligence that they give him, right? Make sure.
Yes, I don't.
Well, here's the thing. Right. It's like there's not. If he's already cast, so there's nothing like there's nothing.
Yeah.
I knew that we weren't getting David Palmer, right? We weren't. I mean, I figured we were getting him. That was maybe if they did the movie 10 years ago, maybe that had been a reality. But I get why they're not going to cast somebody in their 50s for the role. I mean, I understand that. But
the boy Yaya would have been perfect.
It would have been cool to cast somebody who at least is a little bit more age ambiguous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they were younger but kind of looked older, so that they could, have that more, mature look, but still have plenty of longevity, physically. But it is what it is. Everything about all right, you know how I feel about Marvel.
I just hope they don't.
You know how I feel about Miss Marvel and everything with this movie in general. Not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. And so it being in the context of showing up in this film, it's like my expectations are very low and just hoping to be pleasantly surprised. So hopefully this movie gets him right. There's other things I don't expect them to get right, and there's things that I do hope that they get. I do expect them to get right. Like I expect like Miss Marvel in this, and hopefully I like him in this. There's other things I'm sure I like. Spectrum in this, but there's other things that I probably won't like in this. So we'll see what they do. He better be fucking smart.
You're right. I agree with you on that one because his intellect should be on par with the comics, man. This guy is smarter than Reed Richards. So
what's really weird though
is
it's weird because there's also rumors about them bringing Sentry into Thunderbolts, and that's another somebody just said it.
Bullshit.
Yeah, somebody just said it, right? And that's probably bullshit. And I don't want them to juggle too many our answer to Superman people all at once, Too
many Supermans. They
kind of get lost in the sauce. If they're gonna
not to mention you can't bring Sentry in against that team of Thunderbolts.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Nah.
Yeah,
I mean, as it is, the biggest problem
the case at all.
As it is, the biggest problem for me with the Suicide Squad movies are they keep having them face Justice League level threats. when they're fucking just,
Yeah,
when they're street level here, street level characters.
To
why
me, the
fuck
most sensible thing to do with the Thunderbolts, given the nature of that team, is some sort of kind of like espionage conflict with Wakanda and maybe Talocan.
Yeah.
Because you've
Ground
got
level.
Bucky who has history with Wakanda. You've got Valentina, who's the head of the CIA now and is running the Thunderbolts and just was in Wakanda forever. So to me, it makes the most sense to explore that, and I think that's the way that you do it, where it doesn't seem like they're going against somebody who should just wipe the floor with them right away.
Yeah, the smartest thing to do.
Well, how's Bucky gonna do anything?
The smartest thing to do with the Thunderbolts is like what Bendis did with his version of Secret Wars with that miniseries where Fury just put together a street level team to go into Latveria because America couldn't. So that's the type of shit that they should be doing. They shouldn't be taking on people like the Sentry or anyone anywhere near that powerful.
Not even. I mean, the rule was basically for either Sentry or Hyperion, and neither one of them makes sense.
Hyperion's name was thrown around too.
Both of them.
Yeah.
First of all, I think if you bring in the Sentry, you're going to want him to take out or to go up against somebody that's a huge Avengers level
all his
threat.
Power level, bro.
Because if you have the Thunderbolts take out somebody like Sentry, then how do you use him later? When it's like the Thunderbolts could be him.
I think we'll see Sentry. I think we'll see Sentry at some point. I do not think he's going to be the guy that the Thunderbolts are going up against. I think that
good. I'm glad.
I think that's crap. I just
you know what?
I don't see
you
it
know
happen.
what would make sense if they brought the Sentry in. Fine, bring him in, but bring him in as Robert Reynolds, not the Sentry. Basically, just have him in as someone who you suspect could be something eventually. Bring him in as Robert Reynolds, have him, and then make him the Sentry at the end of the movie, going into like a post credit or later on. Don't
but
bring
you
him
can't
in
have him come in fully powered against.
No, hell no.
You can't do it.
Don't do that.
How's Bucky gonna fight with one arm?
No. If they had a Red Hulk like definitively on the team, then but even then he would still destroy Red Hulk. But like that would at least up the power level of the Thunderbolts.
Because the only way to be Sentry is with Sentry. So if you're going to even do Sentry, they should do it. They should give him his own film or a 2-hour Disney special
later
or something
on
where he can fight the Void. That should be who Sentry's fighting. He should be fighting the Void, not the fucking Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do. I think we're gonna see, smaller output from the MCU, and they're gonna try and be more tightly focused. We're not gonna get tons and tons. Like I think we're gonna have longer gaps between properties and stuff.
That's the story they're saying this week, but I hate that. That's such.
Well, is it?
Well, no. I mean, if it means better quality, if it means that Kevin Feige can oversee it better, then I'm okay with it.
You can have quality and quantity.
Yeah.
If they were as focused as they were in the first 3 phases, they could do 5 movies a year and make good movies.
But there were two factors largely that played into Phase 4 not being as focused as those first 3.
But
one is Kevin Feige didn't have the autonomy that he had before, because when Bob Iger left, Chapek put in that level between them where they were actually dictating what he could do and where he could put it platform wise. That's gone now. But then there was also the fact that he's one man. And as you go from I'm managing 3 or 4 movies in a year to I'm managing 5 movies and 3 TV series in a year.
But think about
it. There's too much for one person. Eventually, you got to slow that down.
Yeah, but then that means bringing more people to help, not make it less, because the problem is not the quantity. Because think about Phase 4. Until we got to She-Hulk, every single show was a fucking banger. All of them were good. All of them were great, even.
Yeah.
And in the movies, you had 2 last year and 2 this year, and it was like damn near 50-50, but that wasn't too much quantity. Shit, there was only like 2. So it's not like it was bad because they were putting out so many, like everybody was spread so thin. It's like
back of the writing.
If anything, there was the quantity part was with the television, and that was your highlight. So where are you getting the idea that the problem is the quantity issue? Because the thing that you were doing the most is what you were doing the best. You were putting out television shows back to back to back to back, and they were all incredible until you got to She-Hulk. But that
Well, you
I
got to
still think
remember
that
that's
they were doing-
subjective, though, because a lot of people
And-
didn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier. A lot of people didn't like Hawkeye, right? There were like
That's
Yeah.
crazy
the
though.
shows were like WandaVision was pretty much universally loved. Okay, Ms.
Mm.
Marvel was pretty much universally loved, but there were a lot of critics of Falcon and Winter Soldier. There were a lot of critics of Hawkeye, right? There were just a lot of critics of Moon Knight. Right now, I enjoyed them all
I
to
love
certain
Moon Knight.
degrees.
In the words
All
of
of them.
T'Challa, all of them were wrong.
There were a lot of people who were very
Yeah.
critical about those. A lot of
Mhm.
people didn't like Moon Knight. A lot of people didn't, so we can't say that that the TV side, everything was great up until She-Hulk. I enjoyed it.
I mean,
But
it
I'm
was
saying
Yeah.
So this
the larger
it's
consensus was not
subjective.
that everything was a home run. That's why
Mhm.
it is subjective.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that's why it's also a matter of Kevin Feige is great at doing this stuff, but as he gets spread thinner and thinner, it becomes okay. Yeah, bring people in that can help with that,
No.
but you also have to bring the right people in. And
No.
Kevin Feige is.
I don't think that's.
proven
I
to be
think
kind
the
of a
problem is
unicorn in this area
everybody.
so far.
Everybody is used to their toys, and they're mad that they have to play with new toys now. I think that's the thing. People are upset because they don't have Tony and
Captain America.
and
Right.
until they get that back, they're gonna bitch about whatever they get instead.
And the
So-
Hulk from the first two Avengers.
Right, but
it.
that's also something
like,
that
It
Marvel
doesn't matter
has
how
to
good
deal with.
Shang-Chi was. It wasn't Iron Man, and
Mhm.
so people are gonna fucking bitch. It's just the way it is. And going into X-Men and Fantastic Four, there's just an infinite amount of shit that they could do. So I don't want them feeling like, oh, we got to just put out 2 or 3 TV shows a year and maybe 1 or 2 movies so that way they can be good again. That's bullshit,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I
They
think
definitely-
I think
They've hit a wall, man. They definitely
but-
hit a wall right now.
but I think where I mean, I see both sides. I see that they can basically produce quantity, but I see that, like, for instance, back when they were basically producing, or when we got the first couple of phases, the issue was that we didn't have, and I kind of sort of like see it, that we didn't have Disney Plus. They didn't have that to pretty much rely on, where they had so much content flowing through that wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like, literally, like, okay, you had Falcon and the Winter Soldier. To me, that was good. I love Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
Me
I
too.
love WandaVision. I
Yeah.
love Miss
Yeah.
Marvel, She-Hulk, and to be quite honest, I thoroughly enjoyed Hawkeye up until the very end. You know what I mean? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like what we actually got. I love Kate Bishop. I love basically the banter back and forth between Kate and what is her name? I forget.
Yelena.
Yelena.
Oh,
I love the banner back in between. So
Yeah.
the thing is,
Yeah.
we've gotten some hits and some misses. I just think that, one of the biggest thing that goes against them, and I know that, of course, they're going to do it the way they want to do it. And I understand that, but this 6 to 8 episodes, it's not working. Not, especially if it's only a half
Yeah.
hour. You're not able to tell
You
the
don't have enough
story the right
time,
way,
bruh.
and not enough time. So
Yeah.
you have it's
Yeah.
overstuffed at that point. And one of the biggest thing that's been going against them with this last, with this last phase 4, is that there was no continuity. There was nothing, no connective tissue to let us know, okay, what's happening? What's the big event? What are we leading up to? There was nothing. There was no
because
leadership.
We've had some really good pieces of content when you look at Shang-Chi and you look at No Way Home and you look at Multiverse, like there were some really good pieces in there, but there was a lack of the connective tissue. But yeah, I agree with you on the episode counts. I would much rather, and that's why, again, I mean, obviously I was going to be really excited about Daredevil to begin with, but 18 episodes. I would rather them do fewer TV series each year, but instead of it being like 6 to 8 episodes, it's like 12 to 18 episodes. Like
12 to
like
18
12
would work.
13 episodes,
careful,
I
though,
think, is
man.
a
Imagine
good
18
episode
episodes of
count
She-Hulk.
for a lot of stuff. Like when they went to like 12 to 13 episodes for a lot of streaming shows, for Netflix shows, for stuff on like FX, like The Shield and stuff like that back in the day. Justified was like 12 episodes or so a year, and that was like probably my all-time favorite shows ever. Right? I think 12, 13 hour-long episodes is a good sweet spot for a lot of stuff. So I would rather them do
Yeah, but
2 or
also you
3
gotta keep in
shows in a
mind,
year of 12 to 15 episodes.
Daredevil is a A-lister, and he's tried and true, and he already has such an installed user base. It's not much of a gamble to make 18 episodes for Daredevil. There's is like that's going to be a hit, kind of like it's a layup.
But you could do it with Ms. Marvel now.
Okay, maybe now, but that first to go into the first season.
Oh yeah, the first
Marvel
season.
saying,
No,
here's
you got to
15
go
episodes.
short.
That'd be crazy.
No,
you could absolutely do a second season now where it's 12, 13, 15 episodes. I think you could absolutely do a 12 episode season of well, maybe depending on the on what the story is. I don't know about that, but as far as acting, star power, quality of the show, you could do a longer season of Loki. I think you absolutely, just like with Daredevil, I think now that people at least have gotten an introduction to Mark Spector and to Moon Knight, you could do a longer season of that where now we actually give ample time to each of the personalities, and we actually get into like the Midnight Mission, and we actually get him into New York, right? And then he can cross over with Daredevil, with a Spider-Man, with a Punisher, something like that. So I think there's a lot of room now for longer show for Moon Knight. And then as you build that up, you can absolutely do that with the street level heroes. If they because people are already now familiar through Netflix with the characters of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Iron Fist, you can bring them in and do whatever kind of iteration of those that you want, but people have some familiarity with them, so you could do longer seasons of those. Like, there's a lot of potential that they could do. So they have to strike a balance between introducing new characters and fleshing out ones that we've already got.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you know what? I really hope it with season 2 hopefully for Moon Knight and for Miss Marvel, that you can start it off with all the fat cut out. Just get to the story. They're both established. You have more time if you spread the episodes out, like you were saying, like 12 to 18 or 12 to 14. That'll be perfect, man. You can get down more to what the characters are about.
Moon Knight, yeah.
Right. You need that. So that'll be. I hope that's where it goes, man. Have they okayed season 2 for him yet, or no?
For Moon Knight,
weird. I think
Oscar
said so.
Yeah.
But
it's like Oscar said so, but Marvel hasn't.
Well, he said in that social media, like that video on Instagram, like, "Whoa,
when they were in Egypt, they were in Egypt."
But in interviews, he said that they are talking about it right now. So I think they're basically, it's going to happen. They're just getting the story lined up, and then once they do all the schedules and stuff, and then they'll make the announcement. But yeah, a Moon Knight season 2, I have every confidence it's going to happen. I hope they realize that, okay, now we can spend more time with this character. It's not so much about a mystery of like the different personas and stuff for people who didn't know Moon Knight. Now it's like, okay, now we know the multiple personalities. Right. Now let's get into him being Moon Knight, because that was mostly a Mark Spector, Stephen Grant season. I want to see like a full-on Moon Knight season now.
Yeah. And I want to see him stick the landing. Plain and simple. I mean, when I mean stick the landing, it's
you don't want any kaiju. You don't want
none of that bullshit. But I mean, even at the same time, bro, I just want them to. A lot of these shows, we get early introduction. We get like an early introduction. Everything starts out pretty good, but then they never, in my opinion, they don't fully stick the landing. I mean, WandaVision,
WandaVision did. I think Loki did. I think Loki ended stronger than
Loki and WandaVision hit it perfectly.
They hit
Loki
it
and WandaVision hit it perfectly.
I would even say like it was a fitting emotional ending to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I liked it. I like what
I absolutely think they
for what they did.
I like the ending of Hawkeye though.
If She-Hulk missed the plot, I mean, Hawkeye. It would have been. They didn't give too much. They didn't give. It was hard to say. It was hard for me. It was hard. It was really hard for me.
I don't think it was perfect, but I was okay with it. But I do agree that it felt like they left the whole Bobby Morse thing dangling. It was like as just like this was. We weren't really going to flesh this out. This was just going to be a tease for people in the comics who like kind of knew. I was like, no, I want more of that. So like, I get that, but from what my expectations of the show were, it stuck the landing for me.
You got it. I mean, and that's the thing is it will. It's just it just could have went away. It could have went. Oh, he lost. He'll be back in, but it could have went. I just think that they could have again. Well, Moon Knight, they definitely didn't stick the landing for me, like at all. It was missed opportunity, in my opinion. That was just basically my opinion of where they could have actually gone. Especially wetting the palate with Jake Lockley, and then not really giving us anything else after that. It just, I don't know. For me, I just felt as though it again. I hope that they really take the time to reassess. And the thing is, do it in a way that if it takes them a while to put out content, okay, so be it. But I do believe that this is something that they could have. I don't know. I see this thing is just like I see both sides. I agree with you, Vinny. I agree with you, Brendan, on both sides of it. That there's no excuse at the end of the day because you're a company that's pretty much shown that you have the tools and you can do these things. But at the same time, I understand that it was a congested, convoluted type of situation, whereas just things didn't tie together the right way. And I wish that they would have basically slowed down. You know what I mean? As much as I personally liked, Black Panther, still, even with that, I felt as though if they would have took their time and really thought about things, it could have been even better than than what I loved about it. But again, it's just like I just felt as though this was the weakest season. I mean, pretty much phase 4 to me was the weakest out of the bunch. And I'm hoping that they can kind of regroup and
I think they need to lean more on the actual comic book writers. I think they need more comic book writers need to be involved in more hands-on, I think, involved in these, in these shows and in these movies, rather than it just be like, a credit here and there because they took something from that person's, arc that they wrote 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I know they have brought in some comic book writers on certain like shows or something. I know they did on, well, I'm not going to call it a specific writer, but like a writer that is not particularly my favorite. And that kind of translated into what I was afraid of in one of the Disney Plus shows. But I just think that they need to lean more on the actual source material and the guys who wrote them. And if you're going to try and adapt something and change some things, and look, I understand because they're adaptations, they're not translations. So they're going to change things from the comics. I get that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But why not bring in somebody like, and again, I don't know. I don't think he's had any involvement on it, but like case in point, like tonight with talking about David Mack, I would love it if they brought him in on the Echo show.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are or not. They very well could be. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But just people like bring in Brian Michael Bendis, if they bring in Miles at some point, bringing in the guys who created these characters, the guys who wrote their seminal stories, and talk to them about, okay, how do we really do this right? I think that would just be beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, we got a $2 super chat by my man Uncle Keith Tobar in the building. He said, "Hey, just stopping by really quick. Just stopping by to say hi at a grandson's birthday party. Enjoy that, bro. Enjoy your grandson's birthday.
Happy birthday,
party.
grandson. Happy birthday,
grandson. All day, every day, bro. Appreciate that. Uncle Keith, thank you so much for being here. We got to keep Keith on the show too, bro. Tobar's he's that dude. We got to definitely get him on the show. But yeah, great talks anyway. Everybody, let me know what you think. I know we kind of deviated away from this, which was, again, we do have a Blue Marvel that is going to show up in the Marvels. Like, again, what Single Songwriter said, okay, actors are going to act. Just make sure the writing is on point. Definitely.
Yes.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. So yeah, I cannot wait to see, what they come up with. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, and to see Miss Marvel, I want to see Miss Marvel in live action. I want to see how she's going to pull it off. But anyway, moving on, we're going to talk about like the artist edition, the artist portion. And, again, we always shine a light on an artist of the week, someone that we, think deserves recognition. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that do not get me demonetized with that song playing in the background.
It's not me. It's not me
Yeah,
this time.
yeah. But other than that, you know who it is all day, every day. It is the return of the Mack himself,
Return of the
David
Mack.
This guy is, just meeting him in person. He is the most humble individual ever. You know what I mean? This is him before he joined the Brendan Club when he had hair.
Hey,
But definitely
bald is beautiful, baby. Bald is beautiful.
but definitely the Mac Attack himself, like literally, and it's crazy because this tattoo that you actually see right here, or this picture that you see right here is a tattoo on my leg right now. So definitely I love his work. If you've actually purchased any of the Daredevil runs, most of the Daredevil runs, most of the Echo runs, you'll actually see his work, and it is so creative. His vision, the art itself, he's amazing. He's definitely someone who has placed his mark, in especially in the covers of Daredevil, and I think reinvigorated the character in such a way that it was one of those situations. Daredevil's always been that guy, but I think as far as David Mack's run along with the writing, it's been such an exciting journey. His stint with Echo and just his artistic eye and creativity in general is amazing. Brendan, I'm gonna leave you last because I know this is your guy, and I know you got a lot to basically say about it. I'm gonna start actually with you first, Jedi Pimp Smack Powder, my man. What you think about David Mack's work, bro? Is he here?
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted, bro.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
I hear you now.
All right, my bad. I it's like all his work in the comics is like a freaking oil painting. Everything he does, I love that style of not oil but watercolor. That style of like with all like especially with Daredevil, all the reds and the purples and the blues and the blacks that he uses to tell his stories with his artwork is amazing. Yeah, I feel like it's like watching like you have one of those dreams where it's all the mist and you see like the silhouettes and shadows and stuff in your forefronts. This dude's work is underrated. I have to get that. Is that one? Is that that was a poster, isn't it? With is that that's not Echo, is it?
No, that's
right there.
that's no. So basically, in the middle, you see Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
And then on the
that's
side,
Jessica.
On the
Yeah.
left is his creator-owned. It's Kabuki that
Kabuki.
he did. Like
Yeah.
he did back
Okay.
like 20 plus 30 years ago. It was actually
Mhm.
what he was doing before he actually started it in like college and like
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
collaborated with Brian Michael Bendis on it and was doing that actually when he was brought in by Joe Quesada to do
Mhm.
his first Marvel work, which was on Daredevil.
Yeah.
I love his use of colors, man. His color schemes is just ridiculous, man. I would love to have that as a poster, man. Did they sell that as a poster anywhere?
His
That Jessica Jones?
So you can I mean I think there are places who like sell prints of his stuff all the time, but like his official artwork prints you can get from Kirby's Comic Art, KIRBYS, so Kirby's Comic Art. They're on Instagram and then there's the website too. They represent a bunch of great comic book artists. Another one that's similar is Alex Maleev, who also does great work in like watercolor and stuff like that. But yeah,
That's
so you
fire.
can get his stuff. I've ordered some of David Mack's prints through Kirby's. And I've got a couple more on the way too. So yeah, you can get prints and then you can actually buy limited like pieces of his original art too. So obviously that's going to be like, anywhere from like $500 to $2,000, $3,000, depending on like what size it is and stuff like that, medium. But yeah, you can get his stuff through them.
I want that Jessica Jones picture. That Jessica Jones picture is fire. I like that. That
Yeah,
purple and that
his
black.
Echo stuff, his Jessica Jones watercolors, they're all amazing. I mean, Lael, at New York, you got what? You got Kabuki and you got Echo, right?
Yeah, I got Echo and Storm as well,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, you
and
had that Kabuki picture?
and Wonder Woman.
Oh,
You
that's
had the
right. You got the
Kabuki
Wonder Woman.
artwork?
Yeah, I got the Kabuki.
Oh, that thing is. Oh my god. Let me see. Is that
He's been
on here?
he's been writing that for I think I think there are some prints on there. Some of them are listed, some of them are like sold out, but they're still on the
Mhm.
site. But I mean, he did Kabuki, I think, from like the early 90s all the way up
Mhm.
until like I think it was like 2014 was the last one he did.
Mhm.
So he
Okay.
did it for a minute. Like he spent a lot of time with it.
I'm gonna try to find that, man. I love his use of his watercolor work is just ridiculous. And to bring, I couldn't even watercolor. I would probably just, I would just throw the paper in the trash. I could not use the watercolor medium to make a figure look like it's
Well,
supposed to, or even look human. Like
it's the mixed media though, because he does watercolor, but then he'll also mix in like inks, and he'll mix
inks
in
on
all these
top.
different
Mm-hmm.
textures and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what really kind of brings him out in like photo collage and stuff. So it's
Yeah,
the watercolor is great, but my favorite is when he starts bringing all these different media together.
with the ink and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love dude's work, man. I'm thinking
Yeah,
right now.
He also
definitely.
did the artwork for the closing titles on whatchamacallit, on Captain America Winter Soldier, and on the Jessica Jones opening title sequence
Yeah,
on
Oh, that was
Netflix.
his. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh
I mean,
wow,
he's yeah, bro. You've seen his work, and you probably will.
didn't even know it.
I wouldn't even doubt that you probably would see his work even with the Echo series dropping. Probably even get like his his
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So definitely you'll probably even see his work there. But yeah, Vinny, what you think of get your word on David Mack, the great, and the work that he puts out, the amazing work he puts out, bro.
Yeah, man. I look at him from kind of a different perspective because doing the art stuff, I know how creative the stuff that he does is, and the different ideas he meshes together. Like Brendan said, the collage stuff is what always shines to me. And
Mhm.
when I first seen his work
Mm-hmm.
on Daredevil, the reason why it spoke to me so much is because um, he was allowed to put it in a comic book. Um,
Yeah.
so at this point when he was brought on, Bendis was kind of like on top of the world, and in some ways he is now, but he's been not quite as infallible as he was at that time, and he had so
Yeah.
much power, and he was very, very close with Quesada, who was running things there at the time. And there at that time there wasn't too much, there was starting to be more of a um you know creative acceptance with independent writers in Marvel at that time, but there
Mhm.
wasn't really much deviation when it came to artwork. And
Yeah.
what Mac was doing at that time was bringing something different artistically to those books than I had ever seen. And there's so many different styles that we've seen over the years in comic books, but they've all been just different variations of styles that we've always seen, anyways. And him bringing, like, we've seen books like done interiors with paint, like, but Marvels and Kingdom Come and so forth, but I'd never seen watercolors used throughout a book like that. But it wasn't just watercolors, it was the mixed media, like the collages, and he would go back and forth. Like, he would use pencils when he needed them, he would use photorealistic images when he wanted to, and he would use abstract watercolor when he was like allowed the free reign to just use whatever worked for the story at that time. And it was so creative, and there would be entire like splash pages that like mixed text and watercolor and ink and pastels, and like it was just so different and so creative. And I always just was blown away by it. And like, watercolor is the primary medium that I use with my art now, and I love mixing it up and adding color pencil to it, adding ink to it, and I love watercolor, so it's awesome seeing someone, basically break in with that medium and be as successful as he was. I loved talking to him every time I see him at the shows. Always pick up prints. Like this is a Electra that I got from him a couple years ago, and it's just he does so many amazing things, and and then he can write too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's a great writer. So I think David Mack is this amazing success story of when creators are allowed to get some slack in their leash and just go. How much we can really see creative and special things come from it. Bendis and Mack on that book was just incredible. Mack's work on that book is incredible. Quesada mixed in doing some of the art back and forth with him. I mean, there's panels in Daredevil where Quesada and Mack are going back and forth drawing depending on what the panel needed. They broke rules in this book, and that's rare. That's really rare, especially for a top tier title. This wasn't an independent book where nobody's reading it anyway. Let's do some weird shit and see if it catches on. This was a high profile book that they did a lot of creative and amazing stuff with. And David Mack is he's the man. He's always cool to talk to.
Is this book still out there? Is this book still out there for sale? This Daredevil book right here? I love that, man. That cover is ridiculous.
That's a print. I don't know, but
that's a print. I'm about to say that's awesome.
Yeah. You can still buy all of his work on
I'm on here now.
Volume 2. Yeah, all of his stuff with like Echo. Like I have the first three appearances of Echo. The first appearance, the first cover appearance, and then the next issue, 9, 10, and 11. I mean, I've got all of them, but I have 9, 10, and 11 in 9.8 CGC slabs. Like you can get them. You can get prints. You can get trade paperbacks and hardcovers. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, when we were talking about Mack tonight, I went and I didn't digital reread it. I was like, no, I'm gonna grab my copies, and I just went and grabbed mine and reread them again. And it's just it was just amazing seeing his work again because it brought me back to 20 years ago when I was reading it for the first time, how blown away I was. So, it's definitely somebody who doesn't. I think he's one of those guys that's like, I as big as he's blown up, I still don't think that he gets the credit that he deserves because this stuff is amazing.
I was going to buy this right now, but it's sold out, bro. I was going to buy this right now, dog.
I have this pre-ordered. This is his cover for the Deadly Duo.
So Lisa McDuffie, who's also basically watches, she's the one who sent these to me because she's a David Mack fan as well.
That's awesome.
And she sent me, a couple of prints that she has as well.
Yeah. These are his covers for the Deadly like Batman and Joker, like the Deadly Duo is a mini series, and those come out. I think it's like January or February.
What the hell?
Look at that. There you go, bro.
Oh my god.
I wanted to I tried to buy that issue of Superman, but it was sold out. I wasn't able to pick it up because I got a couple others in today. And that was one of the ones that was sold out.
Jason's about to leave so he can go shopping.
Yeah, I was gonna buy that first print and that shit is gone. It's sold out.
He's like, let me see. Let me come on. He's like, let me see. Let me just see if I can find it.
That Superman is fire, bro. That's dope.
Jason, you can get this Batman though.
Where? Let me see. What the hell?
I just got this one in today.
Is that from? You got it from the Artist Alley that we go to? You got it from them?
No, I bought this off one of the shops online that I get stuff from. So I got this Batman and then this Superman in today.
Got that
from, send me the link to that shop.
It's simple. Brendan's Booty and Books.
That's it.
Yeah,
I know it.
Find it right there, bro.
I need both of those, bro.
You got to get into the books that Brian Michael Bendis wrote, Pearl, that David Mack did the covers for. Like they're absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my god!
Like great read. Like it's Brian Michael Bendis, so obviously it's good. But like great read. But like
look how he uses like the watercolor and the art behind. I love that though. I like
real quick,
Man.
real quick. I gotta give a shout out to my baby. Just here to quickly hijack the chat for a minute. A couple reasons why I love Layel. Real quick, talk your shit, baby. She said he loves bringing people together to share their gifts and talents and passion. He does it in a way that celebrates a healthy range of perspectives.
Exactly.
Bro, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, baby.
Yeah,
I definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean? You want to punch Brendan in his face sometimes, but you know,
Boogie.
no, thank you so much, baby. I appreciate that. But yeah, getting back. I mean, here, real quick before I get to you, Brendan. Like the thing about David Mack is the simple fact that the dude is not. Like there's a lot of artists that literally on a personal level, like they're not really approachable. Like even if you walk up to him and you talk to him, the passion is there, but you can tell it's all work. With him, it's the passion for art, and you can hear it, you can actually understand it, you can feel it. Like he gives his all for this because he basically believes in it, and on top of that, he has no qualms with explaining it to you. You know, just kind of breaking it down and just kind of bringing you into his world, why he did certain things, his color choices, why he chose, you know, just everything. He has no problem with explaining. I think it's like
he loves
even
it.
and it's like it feels like he wants to teach like a master class right there at that table, so you understand, you know, why he, you know, took this approach. And he really doesn't even have to explain it. Like you're just so in awe by his work in general. Like he's amazing, bro.
He should be bigger than what he is, man. At Artist Alley, when you get to Artist Table, I'd say if an artist at his level, 65% of the time, they are swamped with commissions and are working as you go up. And a lot of times they'll look up and talk to you for a minute or two, but they're working on commissions, trying to keep up with everything. Or maybe they're signing and having brief conversations. But usually these are just, you know, working days for these artists, and they're doing a whole bunch of stuff. I've never seen David Mack sit down. This motherfucker is always standing in the middle of a conversation with a fan every time I've ever seen him at an Artist Alley. And you know, you come up to him and you're there at his table, he will talk to you and figure out, you know, how you're doing, what you're up to, you know, and just shoot the shit with you. That's he's there to talk to his fans. That
if you do a search
out of the way to go see him,
you know
is that Wonder Woman?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what he got in New York.
God.
Right? Yep, that's available on Kirby's.
Yep.
That one right there.
Yeah. And last I checked, it wasn't sold out, but I don't know. But yeah, Vinny, like what you said, he's if you search his name on YouTube, you'll find videos on YouTube channels that have 300 subscribers. And he takes the time to be like, yeah, sure. And he'll take a microphone and he'll clip it to his shirt, and then he'll do like a 15-minute interview with a YouTube channel that has 300 subs, right? He doesn't care about like how big you are, if you're from an outlet. Like it's just, you want to talk about comics? Okay. And he'll do it. And he's so gracious. Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a good dude, man.
He would be way bigger than he is if he wasn't so damn humble. Like, what a humble ass guy that has like unlimited talent. It's ridiculous.
Dude, he's got so that the book that that he was doing with Brian Michael Bendis, Cover, which is based on, so David Mack like actually works with the US State Department and like travels around the world and does like outreach in all kinds of ways. And he was telling Brian Michael Bendis about the stuff like that he was seeing and doing and stuff like that. And Brian Michael Bendis was like, wait, forget the thing that we were going to work on. We got to turn this into a comic. Like, let's make this like a cool espionage kind of. And so they, you know, decided to do that. That is being turned into an animated series on HBO Max that Brian Michael Bendis is writing and David Mack is directing.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's going to be on HBO Max. Well, at least I think it still will be. I mean, who knows when, you know, the axe of Zaslav's been swinging on just about anything lately.
Yeah, true.
But last I heard, it was still a go that Brian Michael Bendis was writing it. They've been working on it for a while, and that David Mack was directing it.
I'm about to buy it. I'm about to buy it. I found it.
Definitely, man. Like, so, okay. Butt naked. You have the floor now.
Yo.
Well, here, so Jason can really marvel in some more that he's gonna want to buy.
I'm getting this, dog.
You want this.
Oh my! Is that Wendigo? Who's in the
No,
back
it's a
end?
wolf. It's part of
This regular
a
wolf?
mini series, the Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is the second issue, but he's doing variant covers for each of them.
Oh my god!
He got this is from the Comic Tom monthly mystery box, but this is a variant that he did for Something Is Killing the Children.
Wow.
This is baby. I got this not too long ago. This is Alias #1 that he did the cover for.
Oh yeah, you showed me that one. Yeah, that was awesome.
So love that.
Yeah.
But all of his stuff. I mean, like one of the big ones that people are specking on right now, White Tiger. He did a bunch of covers for that White Tiger run that came out
like
of
that.
Daredevil Volume 2. Yeah, this one is one of my favorites right here. The colors on this I just absolutely love with that Daredevil issue with Kingpin.
That green and red. Yeah.
But so these are and this is what we're, the story that we're going into tonight specifically. And that's the story is what he wrote. And actually before that though, I will thank Lael too, because he picked this up signed at NYCC for me. This is the hardcover of Parts of a Whole, which is Echo's introduction. And when
beautiful.
Joe Quesada brought him in to Marvel, Daredevil was the first thing that he was going to do. And so it was actually going to be Joe Quesada. Like they collaborated on the art, but Joe Quesada was actually doing the drawing. And he asked him, he's like, all right, well, I want to play to your strengths. So like, what would you like me to do? And Joe Quesada told him, he's like, the only thing I require is you have to give me a new character. We don't want to lean on Kingpin or Bullseye or Elektra. Like, they go back to that well so often. He's like, I want a completely new character. And that's a tall order to just come up with a completely new character that is going to hit, that's going to work, right? Because you don't know if that character is going to last, is going to be anything.
Yeah.
And he created Echo.
Oh
and
my
Echo
god,
is such
dude.
an amazing character.
So
that's that's a tall order. And man, did he knock that one out of the
He
park?
knocked that one out of the park, definitely.
So the thing that we're going to talk about, and I absolutely love his writing just as much as his art, right? And for me, the Wake Up arc in Volume 2 of Daredevil, issues 16 to 19, those I just absolutely love because he and Brian Michael Bendis and they just absolutely crush these, and the art and the writing on these are so amazing that we have Ben Urich is one of my favorite characters, and this is double signed by David Mack and Brian Michael Bendis. And then same thing with the next issue is also signed by both of them. And then issue 18. So I love these. And then 19, I only have it signed by David Mack, so I have to get one with Brian Michael Bendis on there too.
That's Marvel Knights. I like that.
Yeah, so the Marvel Knights era kicked off in 1998 when Kevin Smith did the start of Daredevil Volume 2. So you had Black Panther, you had Punisher,
Blade,
you had Elektra. The Marvel Knights era in 98, that was largely spearheaded. I mean, Kevin Smith, at the very beginning, but after that and throughout, it was largely spearheaded by Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada.
Yep.
And then there were a handful of others, and you had great runs throughout that with Ed Brubaker, Brian Michael Bendis, David Mack, Alex Maleev, all these great writers and artists. But for me, we had already said, the mixed media and the way that if you look at David Mack, there's writing all throughout, on the outskirts of a page, right? And there are all these little things that it takes multiple readings, just like you with a movie or a TV show. It takes multiple readings to pick up on all the little things that oh, wait, I didn't even see this little notation on this corner of the page or something like that. And then a lot of times there'll be a page and it's you read all the panels, but then there's this writing that's going around the framework of the page, and you're actually rotating the book so you can read all and then you read it and you're like, oh shit, Like, that's really cool, and it adds depth to the story. It's not like what we have said that, you know, we felt like the in the current X-Men runs, when they have those just white pages with just like a bunch of text, and it's like a logbook or, you know, an email or something like that, and it doesn't it doesn't really feel like it's adding a whole lot to the story. All of these surrounding elements on all of the pages that David Mack does, it feels like they are adding, whether they're visual elements, whether they're text or something like that. It adds to the characters of Echo, of Daredevil, of Ben Urich, especially in Wake Up. Like, it really adds depth to who Ben Urich is as a character, but then why he's also important to Matt Murdock. And so it's just, I think you get a lot more depth in David Mack's art and a lot more storytelling than just the action in a panel. Because in the Wake Up arc, there's actually very little action. There's basically one main action sequence that's him just kind of chasing Leapfrog. It's not even really, you know, a major action scene. It's mostly Ben Urich trying to figure out what exactly happened, but the art just draws you in so much, and then the writing is so good. And I will say that, and everybody can give their opinions, we'll go back and forth, but I love how David Mack and Brian Michael Bendis handle J. Jonah Jameson in this arc, okay? Because what we see of Jameson, you know, typically in the Spidey books, he's kind of like, he's like a comedic foil, like he's like an over-the-top caricature kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And in this story, there are specific moments where it's like he's butting heads with Ben Urich, and, you know, Ben is pissed off because he wants him to cover the trial of the Kingpin that's going on at the time and stuff. And Ben Urich wants to tell this story about this kid and, you know, the son of Leapfrog and what's happened here. And, you know, he's pushing back and saying, no, like, that's not news. That's not. And Urich writes the story and he's like, this isn't garbage. This isn't a trash story. And Jonah admits it. He's like, no, it's not, but I'm still not running it because, you know, and one of my favorite lines in the book too. And it shows that, like, I think it adds depth to J. Jonah Jameson, because he even says, you know, the only way to win this game is to be better than the rest, better writers and better reporters. And bare minimum, that means when the sky is falling, you don't report what color the grass is. Right? I love that line because it actually,
deep.
I mean, it shows a level of kind of intellect and analysis on the part of J. Jonah Jameson that we don't usually see. It's usually just like he wants a headline that's trashing Spider-Man, or he wants whatever is sensational and stuff like that. And he still wants that in this, but there's a level of
more Perry White
understanding. Approach. Exactly. Yes, it is a more Perry White approach. It's more a Daily Planet than the Bugle. Right?
It's sort of like, you know, in reading it, even with, you know, the banter back and forth with him and Ben Urich, like, it's like, you know, even though he knows Ben is right, he wants to have that level of control still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's, you know,
still a business.
Yeah. But you say, like, you like how, you know, basically they handled J. Jameson. I was more vested in Ben Urich's conversation with the kid. You know what I mean? That was more so than anything, because the innocence of a child, but really, like, knowing that this is the child of a, you know, somewhat of a psycho. You know what I mean? Like, and in a way that was actually handled, it was sort of like the only way, like, in a sense, it's like he tackled in the way, like, all right, let me get to this child before anything gets even more serious. You know what I mean? Like, it's a story to be told, but there's also an innocence and his humanity there. You know what I mean? And you know, I like the way they handled Ben Urich, because, like I said, even, which I wish they would have handled this character and they wouldn't have did what they did to him.
And it was the worst thing
in She-Hulk
to kill him off. So that's so crazy, stupid. Bro.
That's the thing you got to think about. Is now, first of all, just in general, Leapfrog, right?
He's
not an A-list villain. He's not somebody that people take seriously. But then you take this character.
and you say, okay, this has been a comic relief kind of character, which is basically how he was used in She-Hulk. And I was
Turn him
kind of
into a
disappointed
nitwit.
because I was like, no, don't do that, because I
Mhm.
want to see this in the Daredevil
Yeah.
show. I knew it was
Yeah.
pie in the
Yeah,
sky
yeah,
hope, but I
yeah.
was, I was still
Yeah.
holding out hope. But
Yeah.
the point is, you take a character who's been comedic relief, who's been a joke, right?
Yeah.
And you say, all right, but wait a minute. What if this guy is so frustrated over being a failure? He's got so much pent up rage because nobody takes him seriously. But the one person that he's stronger than and then he can assert dominance over is his kid. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
people laughing at him and thinking he's a joke, it turns him into an abusive parent.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
kid can't get away from him. The kid doesn't have the
No.
power to beat Leapfrog, even though he's a joke to the rest of the superhero world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what happens is all of that frustration and resentment and anger gets targeted at his own kid. He's an abusive father. And that's where, so the kid loves his dad, but he's also afraid of him. And he's also willing to shock him with that, that electrical cable to save Daredevil.
Mhm.
And then is dealing with the emotional fallout of that, and that's why he goes catatonic, and that's what Ben Urich is trying to figure out.
Yeah.
That is a powerful story to tell about a D-list villain that people just look at as comedic relief, and it shows how artists and writers like David Mack and Brian Michael Bendis elevate this medium,
right? Because it's
and how good that could be on screen too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's opposite of how, say, a Jeff Johns would tackle. Oh, I'm gonna make him tweak his power so that way he's a fucking like how he took Captain Cold to Boomerang and tried to make him cool. No,
Yeah.
you're still using a D-lister, but in a way that's compelling to the story. That
Yeah.
Make him tragic.
Yeah.
You're putting a different spin on it. It's like you're still using, like, this is still a story that obviously has stuck with us for over 20 years, that is about a joke of a character because of the angle and perspective they took on it, because he's the backdrop. He they didn't need to make him the star in order to use him. It was how they told the story, and that's the beauty of storytelling, because you could take a story and flip it on its head and tell it a different way, and then all of a sudden it's brand new and fresh, and it's an interesting and amazing take. And then
Sure.
and the most important and the coolest thing they did here was the way that they had been approached this, because I mean, typically what we see of just him talking and worried about this child is like, being a reporter was the last thing on his mind. He was worried about this boy's
About the
well-being
kid.
and care. He was
Mhm,
worried about
mhm.
this kid. It's like, fuck
Yeah.
the job.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
the job more than anything. Like, the job was
Yep.
a byproduct of what he was worried about making sure that this kid was okay. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
Because the
just
thing
really
is, it's like
commendable.
it's sort of like he sees it long term, whereas a child that is receiving this level of abuse could potentially, growing up, could become more of a menace than anything. And it was sort of
Your
like,
next villain.
and it's, your next villain, and it's sort of like
Mhm.
Leapfrog's only way to assert his dominance, because he wasn't taken serious,
Mhm,
is
mhm.
to be more of a threat to his own kid, and that
Own
was
kid.
like really fucked up. But it's like,
Yeah.
this is stuff that happens now. The
Every
reason why
day.
I like this story
Every
is
day.
because it's what is happening right
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
Like, this
Mhm.
isn't like just bullshit that's written in the story just to kind of no. This is what's happening right now.
Yep.
Even what I love here's what I love about David Mack's approach. I pulled this up because looking at the color choices that he chose to elude not just the conversations,
Dark
but the
blue.
emotion. It was the
Emotional color.
emotion
Yeah.
that he's showing in these
Pinks and
pieces.
reds.
Like,
Mhm.
literally,
But
like,
look at the depictions of Ben Urich too.
Yeah.
You notice the different characters are drawn and painted with different styles
Yeah.
based
Yeah,
on what's
yeah.
happening on
Yep.
that page. You look
Yeah.
at the way he's depicted when Ben Urich is actually with his own family at home, and it's
Yeah.
much more
Mhm.
cartoonish and stuff.
Mhm,
And then you look at the way that he's depicted when he's meeting Matt Murdock or Daredevil, or when he's talking to the cops, or when he's talking to the kid, and it's all different based on
Those
what they're
different-
trying to
right.
hit upon in that page and that panel. But it never feels disjointed. It's like, even though you're seeing different ways of drawing or painting the same characters in different situations, it's all cohesive, and it all feels like one story that is just told really, really well. I mean, these pages, there's so much depth to these pages. I can't even imagine how long it takes him to do a single issue like this involved. His interior work. I mean, he mostly he more than anything he does covers these days, but it's his interiors on this, and then later on issues 51 to 54 or 55 of volume 2 of Daredevil, which is just another delving into Echo's origin. His interior work is just insane. And obviously, and I love his writing, and he wrote that, and he wrote Echo's original run. This one is just another example of the long working relationship that he and Brian Michael Bendis have had. Their friendship and the number of projects that they've worked on together and continue to work on together. They're probably my favorite comic book like creative duo.
Yeah,
like that pairing. I don't think there's anything that I like more than the two of them together.
Him and Michael Avon Oming is really special too. One of these days we'll dive into Powers, because that's another just insane book.
That book with the Spider-Man with the wolf, that's still for sale.
Yeah,
because the cover
that's issue number 2.
Are you shopping?
The cover. I've been shopping the whole time.
You've been shopping this whole time.
I've been shopping the whole time.
I figured you were.
He's just building.
I'm David Macking out.
It's comic book shop with friends.
Right, definitely is. You should never show me that website, because you know I'm going right into it.
Yeah, you should pick up his variant cover of Ninja Funk too. Brand new book. Just saying.
That's not. I gotta look for it. But that Spider-Man cover, that book is still for sale because the print is sold out.
Yeah. The print sold out on Kirby's like that. It went crazy. But the book, the first 2 in that Deadly Spider-Man series, because that's a new miniseries that just started like a month and a half ago. They have the first 2 issues out, and those are still available. Both of them. They're
so if it's still there, I can go tomorrow and get them. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that was issue number 2.
Yeah, that's fine, bro. There. Woo. I love that one. I'm gonna buy 2 of those.
They're great. Man. His artwork is just unreal. Like Vinny mentioned it earlier. It's like you've got the mixed media of like you've got inks, you've got watercolor, you've got photorealism, and then you've got other parts that are very specifically like caricature or cartoonish for effect. There's so much layer to it, but I also personally love that when he's doing like a panel like this up at the top, for example, he's not worried about like, okay, I've got to draw like a dresser and a lamp and
you can tell what he's focused on.
He's not worried about all the background stuff. It's like right now it's just he picks the color tone that he wants for the mood for this scene, but then it's just the focus is on Ben's face, and specifically it's just on his eyes right there. He's not worried about like, oh, I have to draw a poster on the wall for this kid's room because it was in the previous panel. This is just about looking at Ben right now. And then he just gives us these great textured watercolor backdrops for them.
I love that.
I love his style. It's not.
But look how he uses those colors. You could tell it's like a lot of emotional intensity. He's trying to really get to the bottom of trying to help this kid out, man. Like this, the color schemes. Every page is like a different, emotional trip, bro.
The only thing that I understood it. I understood what Ben York was trying to accomplish, and again, he was gaining the kid's confidence because he did naturally want to help. The only thing that bugged me was the simple fact that there were points where emotionally trying to everything else aside, work aside, but then there was moments where he did dip into those same tactics that he would use to get a good story. Kid. And that's the only thing that I was like, so part of me was like, yo, stop fucking worried about Daredevil, bro. Like, just think about the kid. Like, the kid is that was part of it.
His idea was that the only way he was really gonna find out what happened was that Daredevil angle, because Daredevil was the only other person there to see what this kid saw.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So that's his only other avenue if he can't get the kid to fully open up to him, is to find out through Daredevil.
I know, but it was just the
Yeah.
tactics that were used, the conversation, even with the kid. You know what I mean? I just,
Mhm.
I mean, because it's just like even tactics when a kid is being interrogated, you know, a kid who really doesn't know any better. And then you're
Yeah.
planting certain seeds to get what you want.
To
Not
get
saying
them,
that that's what
yeah.
he did, because I understood that he was trying to get the confidence of the kid to really get to find out what happened. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But it was just,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why even when she was like, yo, I think we should step away to give a kid a moment. But he was just
Mhm.
more in it to get it, like, you know, you got to give me this information now type of situation. And that would make anybody snap. You know what I mean? At
Mhm.
a point. So
I
yeah,
love the Peter Parker cameo
yeah,
in it
yeah.
for
Mhm.
me, because that him, you know, knowing who Daredevil is, but not knowing who Spider-Man is, and just having that, you know, Peter Parker and Ben Urich, you know, whenever they're in the same book, they usually are bonding over their, like, you know, hatred, or not hatred, but like it's a, you know, J. Jonah Jameson is a pain in both their asses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's another arc in volume 2 of Daredevil where you know, they're putting out Matt, you know, they put out like that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and Ben Urich is trying to you know, get Jonah to back off of Matt Murdock in the papers, and he's like, look, I know Daredevil's identity and it's not him. And so Jonah is like, what the fuck, you know, and you're not like, who is, I want to know
Wow.
right now. And he's like firing Ben because he doesn't say it, and Peter Parker steps up too in that meeting, and is like, I know who Daredevil is too, and it's not Matt Murdock. And he's like, wait, you know too? And so now they're like, they've got each other's backs, and it's cool,
Yeah.
that kind of relationship. And so I like in this, when Ben Urich didn't know that Peter Parker was an orphan. He didn't know that his parents were killed when
Yeah,
that
he
Yeah,
kind of
died when
little.
he
spilled
was
his guts
younger.
there, like out of the blue. He just kind of spilled his guts
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah. I also,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just seeing it or if David Mack and Brian Michael Bendis intended it, but in one of the pages, it looks like Peter Parker looks a little bit like Leonardo DiCaprio to me.
Right here.
Like right there, that looks a little bit like Leonardo
Whoa.
DiCaprio back in like the
Yeah.
90s, right?
That is a common
Yep.
artist
Yep.
thing. As a common artist thing, where a lot of people draw characters who they want to see play them in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
another prime. There are two prime examples. Actually, Volume 2 is my favorite out of all the Daredevils. But there are two other arcs. There's one where one of these aging mobsters, they draw. I mean, it is Robert Duvall. It is
Yeah.
100% Robert Duvall.
Oh,
And then
wow.
there's another one that is 100% John Goodman. Like
Mhm.
it's you're looking
Mm.
at, and it is to a T. It is them,
Absolutely.
and you're thinking like they, you know, they were thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, back then it was like probably this was not going to happen as far as a movie or TV show or anything,
Right.
but they were
Mhm.
just kind of still imagining it and liking it and did it anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if I'm just seeing it or if he actually kind of put that in there himself, but it
Mhm.
does to me look like
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
His
But
work is just ridiculous,
Yeah,
man.
the
this-
only other Uric thing that was kind of like a bit much was, and I completely get where he would be coming from this, because we probably all would, but you know, he must have mentioned at least a half dozen times how much money he could make if he spilled Daredevil's secret. It's like,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
And that
yeah.
was my point, bro. I'm like,
we
Yeah.
get
yo,
it.
like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
it was, and that was my
He
point.
still looked
Even the
them out, bro.
conversation that he had with the
Mhm.
kid, it was always that harking that fixation
Yeah.
with Daredevil.
It's
And I'm
like,
like,
yo, my
bro,
man be
and I
just
get
walking
you
down the
being a
street like,
reporter, but
Mhm.
man,
fuck,
I
man, like, let
man,
it
I
go
wouldn't be on the
sometime.
bus right now
Yeah.
if I just
Yeah.
knew who Daredevil was. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
It's like, we get it.
I
Damn.
get, yeah.
Yo,
I mean,
do
to
you- do
me,
you-
I like it just because it sells it sells
it's kind of like, hey guys,
Matt
aren't I a
Murdock's
good
trust
person?
of Ben Urich, because there's always that temptation. There's always that, hey,
Yeah.
at any moment I could make one split second decision and be set for life.
Yeah.
And make my career and make my money and be done. And so like, I understand, like, it was mentioned a bunch, but to me it's like it's done because it sells his presence as like as part of Matt Murdock's moral compass, because Ben Urich could so easily sell him out and he doesn't. And
Yeah.
so he has this kind of moral authority with Matt because Matt trusts him because he has that secret, right?
Mhm.
And it's yeah, there are times where like a superhero has like X number of people who know what their secret identity and stuff is, but Ben is one of those guys who has a built-in reason that's not a criminal, just a built-in reason for it. At any moment I could make my bones off of his name, and I don't do it. And so to me, that's another reason why I think Ben Urich is such an important character, and why I was so disappointed that they killed him in the first season of the Netflix
I was about to
show.
ask you that. You think they're
Yeah,
gonna bring
that's
him
what I
back?
hated.
Do you think they're gonna bring him back for the new show? I hope
They
they bring him
can.
back though.
They can
I
because
hope
it's a
so.
totally different
We'll
iteration.
absolutely get a Ben, because again, it's not a one for one. It's not the exact same
Yeah.
Netflix one.
Yeah,
You have
I
to
feel
have Ben
like-
Urich because he's
You
such
have
a
to have him back,
critical
bro.
character
I
in this
feel like the
mythos.
fact that they are bringing Karen and Foggy's same actors back makes it like
That hasn't been confirmed. That's been rumored. That hasn't been confirmed.
I didn't finish my sentence. I feel like bringing them back would kind of cement them not doing it because it's making it too close to the exact cast as before. So it's why I hope that they don't bring Karen back or recast her, maybe keep Foggy, but I don't want them to have the exact same cast. So that way there's a seed of this is just even a slight seed of a variation of what the previous cast was to justify Ben being there without it being that they brought every single person back. And then a new person for Ben just seems unlikely if they bring.
Is that same actor that played him before still alive? That guy, he was good as
Yeah,
Ben,
he's still
man.
alive. He's still
the
around.
actor's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely still alive. But I just
they should bring him back, bro. They should bring the same guy back, dude.
I loved him in the role.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that they killed him.
Killed him off way too early, bro. I was
everybody.
pissed off when
There
he
were some
died.
people that were calling for the cat who played Ben York and Daredevil, Ben Affleck.
Oh, Joe Pantoliano.
Oh yeah.
Joey
He's good though,
Pants.
but
Joey
he's too
Pants is
old
dope,
though.
too.
Yeah, he's definitely too old.
He's too old
Well,
now.
no, I mean you can absolutely
He's
have
a
an
reporter.
older.
He could be older.
Yeah, I mean, he's older in the Netflix show. I mean, he's in his like late 50s, early 60s. He's an old school print reporter, so you can absolutely have.
But you know who they could bring in as who I've always basically seen as Ben York in my eye as a cinematic version of Ben York. I keep forgetting his name, Walter White.
Brian
Walter White.
Brian
yeah, he could do it.
I always seen him as a Ben York.
I feel like if he's ever in Marvel, they're doing something bigger with him now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'd see he has the personality.
I don't know that they
Ben
cast
York.
anyone that old anymore. Everybody has to. It's like
true.
You know,
to be 20 years old,
35 and under.
I would love if they. I would love, honestly, because now you remember he wasn't at because the Netflix shows were supposed to be, it's like technically we're like in the same universe, but not, because they wouldn't talk about it back when they had like Marvel TV separate from Marvel movies. So remember, he wasn't at the Bugle, right? He was at a different newspaper in New York. He was at a smaller newspaper. So I would like Ben Urich to be in the MCU and at the Bugle. And I would actually, I know that like we get, the comedic side of J. Jonah Jameson when we see him with Spidey. But just like you can have the comedic and then you can also have some more dramatic in the books, I would like to see him at the Bugle, and I would like to see J. Jonah Jameson played by what's his name? From that plays Jameson, but that is also like Whiplash and stuff. Who's an amazing actor. I would love.
Who are you talking about?
The actor who plays J. Jonah Jameson.
On his
name.
The one that J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. He's such a great dramatic actor as well as comedic. Like watch Whiplash. I would love to see moments of J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Urich that are more like what we see of their interactions in this arc in the MCU, where we get a little bit more of that serious side of Jonah too. Because one of the best things in this whole wake up arc is at the end when Ben finally publishes the whole story, like he's got the whole story, and then you see that Jonah comes by with the issue rolled up in his hand and hits Ben Urich on the head with the rolled up newspaper, smacking him, is like giving him a hard time. But that issue of the paper, his story is front page above the fold. So it's like Jonah acknowledging, like, yeah, you're a real newspaper man. Like I gave you shit, and this isn't what I wanted, but damn, that was a fucking story.
But when does James or Jameson himself,
Jonah Jameson,
J. Jonah Jameson, when does he not give somebody a hard time? Triple J, exactly.
Yeah.
When does he not give somebody a hard time?
Right, he always gives them a hard time.
He gives them a hard time,
rarely...
but underneath, it's just like he's like, all right, he knows that they're right. Just like he knows that majority of Pete, or pretty much every last one of Pete's photos, is potentially a winner for him. Is just still underplaying it because he wants to assert his position. That was the subtle.
That was the nod that I liked. That moment between, because we haven't had that. Because you think about like the Sony movies where we had Jameson, right? He would be like, $50, take it or leave it, and he's like, all right, so he starts to walk out, and he's like, $100, and that's his like saying, okay, it's a good photo, but it's more like I need the photo. This was this was like he was saying, fuck, I did not want you to do this story, but damn, was that a good story? Yeah. And he acknowledges that by hitting him with the rolled up paper and nodding and walking off, rather than firing him, but also the fact that it was front page above the fold. Yeah. Right. So there's this acknowledgement of like, you did a good fucking job, man. I'm not gonna knock you for it.
I love this scene here. The emotional beats in the darker tones here. And just the lack of confidence. The boy, like literally, it was like you're just so focused on the boy because they made it the center of the character, but the emotions, how it's drawn. David Mack's, his artwork is with sheer emotion with the color palette. Everything that he actually chooses is incredible. I love it.
And all that negative space too, because a lot of artists would basically split this up into like 4 or 5 panels, and there would be a lot of background detail and stuff. And for him, it's like, no, I'm going to make the actual panels that you're looking at smaller. They're not even going to take up the whole page, but everything around it, it's dark. And then you just have that setting, that moonlit, over the bridge, in the background there, but it's very subtle. And it's almost like those panels are like floating or like in water or something like that. And it just, it brings your focus directly to them. And he's okay with using that negative space. And I love that shot. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Super dope. Super dope. All in all, I enjoyed this story, bro. But then again, the marriage of both the writer and the artist, with this, again, we talk about that often, how they complement each other. And nowadays, like even like with current runs, it's very rare that we find it. You know what I mean? Like that you really find that level of commitment when it comes to an artist and a writer coming together. And even with Mack being a writer himself, you can tell that he had slightly some input on, pretty much everything here. But again, it's just that marriage that's just really, really incredible. I love it, bro. Like,
this is what I want to see in the MCU. This is the kind of storytelling that I want to see on Disney Plus, and that I'm hopeful they're going to pull from, for the Daredevil, 18 episodes. Like, you've got a lot of meat on the bone there. Like, let's use some of this from, especially, I think that they're going to, and I think it would be a mistake not to. I think that, issues like 51 through like 54, 55 of Daredevil, that is basically just focused entirely on Echo's backstory that Daredevil is barely even in, right? I think that is going to be largely what they pull from for this new Echo TV show. And so I think that's the right way to go. I want to see that. And I want to see them pull more stuff like Brian Michael Bendis, and David Mack and Alex Maleev and Ed Brubaker's and Michael Lark's runs, in that volume 2, and put that into this 18 episodes. They might pull some of the newer stuff from Chip Zdarsky's run. Like there's been rumors that like Kingpin will be making a mayoral run in the show. I don't know if that's true or not, but like there's that. There's also another one of my favorite kind of short-lived characters is Blind Spot from Volume 5 that Charles Soule introduced. And the rumor is that one of the like the Asian characters that they've cast for the show with a different name is actually just it's a smokescreen. It's actually going to be Blind Spot, and that's a really great character. So I hope that they pull from a bunch of different runs and not just limit it to like, all right, we're going to try and drag out one long story. Like, give us like 4-episode arc here and then another 4-episode. You can still have connective tissue that like connects the whole thing, but give us, you know, some arcs that we want to see, and don't just be like, oh well, you only get 1 or 2 in this. Like, no, you got 18 episodes. Give me 5, give me 6 different stories.
Bro, I'm really excited about Echo, bro. I don't, as a lot of people aren't. I
Dude.
cannot wait for that. I cannot wait to watch it. I mean, I think the actress, and the thing is even when I look at this, like it looks exactly like the actress. Like I see it so
He's
much.
done some more recent paintings of Echo with the actress who plays her now as the inspiration, and it's like it looks dead on just like her. So yeah,
especially this one right here. I'm gonna pull it up in a minute. This is the one I was looking for. Hold on a second. It looks straight up dead on like the actress, and that's what I'm saying. Like he's definitely going to have a lot of influence, I believe.
Back in the day, he also did one that looked exactly like Rosario Dawson too.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones. That's her to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that show. Yeah, it's also interesting too because and we were talking about this the other night, but they've cast James Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini, in the Daredevil show, and he's a good actor in his own right too. But the reports were that he was cast as like a Long Island kind of like ambitious mobster, kind of up and comer. And to me, because some people were thinking, oh, he might play Fisk's son, Richard. And that's still a possibility. But given the fact that how the Hawkeye show ended with Echo shooting him, which is what happened in the books, and he was like blinded in the books, I think that the character that Gandolfini is playing is going to be a character called Sammy Silk, and he's an up and comer who basically comes in and he finds out that 1, Fisk is blind and he thinks he's weak because of that, and then 2, that he knows Daredevil's secret identity and hasn't moved on him yet. He takes that as a sign of weakness, and he organizes a mutiny where all these guys basically stab, you know, kind of like, you know, Brutus, like they stab Kingpin and try and like take him out and kill him. And then Sammy Silk tries to like take over as like the head of the crime syndicate. So I think that might be who he's playing, and I fucking love it if they're doing that, because that means they're really tying Echo's origins and this Daredevil show together. So hopefully they're doing that, because I would love it.
I agree with this comment right here.
Love Daredevil, but hope Echo doesn't get turned into another when will Daredevil show up show by the fandom. Yeah, I think you're gonna get a lot of that, just because that's what because people who are familiar with the character, I think, are really looking forward to the show. People who aren't and just know that she has ties to Daredevil and Kingpin are going to be waiting for Daredevil and Kingpin to show up. I think that's just what I think, but I don't think you can avoid
also it. A lot privy to just how much nothing else was going on in the show, where people were just looking for Daredevil. So if there's a lot more action or more intriguing storytelling going on with Echo, there'll be a lot, you know, less of this wedding is fun and all. Where's Daredevil?
Yeah.
You know, that's
pretty much what everybody was looking for the entire season.
I didn't, you know, I didn't know if he was supposed to be in the show or not, but I get that there's people who thought he would have been in it more, and if you weren't enjoying the show as much as many people weren't enjoying it, obviously you're going to be looking for anything to come and save the show. But if Echo's just hitting its beats and, doing what it's supposed to be doing in a much more satisfactory way.
And Mikey Lito, that's why we got Butt Naked and Vinny to explain these things.
Yeah, that is a different David Mack.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we all know that Echo can stand on her own as a character. They just have to do it well with the show and prove it to people who aren't familiar with the character that she can stand on her own. I've seen plenty of YouTube channels that are focused on comic collecting from the investment side. They're more just focused on the finances than really knowledgeable about the stories. And they'll be like, oh, come on. I mean, Echo, what kind of show is that? It's because it's not a Captain America, because it's not an Iron Man. They're just thinking oh, it's an Echo. Come on. Right. It's no, this this character is amazing. People just need to recognize
also, they did
that.
promo stuff for Daredevil leading into She-Hulk. So there was a reason why people were expecting to see him, because it was up in air how many episodes he'd been in. I mean, they had his mask, they teased the suit, they were doing a whole bunch of things to, promote that he was going to be in it. If Echo doesn't do those things, then it'll just be people just, grasping at straws expecting to see him in it, or just familiar with, where she's from. But that's a lot different than, Marvel actually promoting him being in it and not having him for 7-8 episodes.
Yeah, I think they have to promote Echo on her own merits. I don't want them to lean so much into Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio for the promotion of the show. Realistically, I think they probably will, just because, they want to, use whatever marketing tools they can that are going to be financially make the most sense for them. But for me personally, I want them to really let Echo be her own thing. As much as I'm a fan of Daredevil, I don't want him to be in a lot of the show. I want him to, I'd love to see him in a little bit, but I want this to be an Echo show, not like an Echo and Daredevil show, just without Daredevil in the title. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. But she's absolutely a character that can stand on her own. I mean, she's the fucking Phoenix Force in the comics right now. She can throw down. She can handle it. So, and I think there are just a lot of really good storytelling options for her to interact with other characters in the MCU too.
Yeah,
and with the Phoenix Force under control.
We got some breaking news real quick. Just came through the pipeline. I didn't believe this was going to happen, but. Breaking news. Jedi Kid is going to be playing Luke Cage. We got the
I got it. I'm there. I'm all for it. I wasn't going to tell you guys, but Christmas. I was always springing stuff on me, man. So
now we know why he always has technical difficulties. He'll be breaking keyboards.
That's it.
Breaking keyboards with that bulletproof skin.
Breaking keyboards and throwing mics. Finally paid off, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I was trying to hold out.
So Charlie the Unicorn said if they don't show off Daredevil in the marketing, the show won't make a dent on Disney Plus or become more widely viewed by casual fans.
There's truth to it.
There's absolutely truth to it, but if they're going to have success with other characters outside of those big hitters like Cap and Iron Man and stuff, they're gonna have to take that leap of faith with some of them and do that at some point and not rely, because the best storytelling is ultimately the best way that they can give longevity to characters. And if people watch a Disney Plus show that is the main character is so heavily dependent on another ancillary character that people know more, you're not going to get a second season out of any of those shows. You know what I mean? So they have to, at some point, they have to have a level of faith in a show and character like Echo or like these others, or they just have to say, okay, we're not doing those anymore. Those will only be characters that we introduce in other major character properties like a Cap or, Punisher or something like that. So at some point, they're going to have to pick a lane.
Well, check it out. If it wasn't for the Daredevil pop up in the previews for She-Hulk, nobody would have watched it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I think more people would.
But Echo don't need that. Echo is a different kind of character than the She-Hulk is.
They also used Hulk to introduce She-Hulk too.
True.
You also had people tuning in that first episode or two
for Hulk.
Hulk.
But
and then
but Echo doesn't need that.
You got me here, and then all right, Hulk goes away, and then you're still watching the show. That could be something that they do where they just get Daredevil out of the way early, so that way people aren't like wondering.
You can show Echo
but
fighting the hand in the promo and be good.
But you also have Kingpin as a very, very prolific character. So if he's going to be involved in the show, teasing him being in the show, I feel like does what they're hoping Daredevil would do for the show.
And you gotta remember too that in this like streaming era and stuff too, how many shows have you discovered that you didn't hear anything about or didn't know anything about, and you checked out this show on Prime, Amazon Prime,
and it was good,
Netflix,
and it was good,
and you're like, oh shit, you watched one episode and you were hooked, and then you were in, right? These like Marvel properties can do that too. Not all of them have to be like immediate, just like, oh shit, this is just getting like the ratings that are off the charts, right? Think about like, it's crazy to me that Andor didn't get the numbers that I think it should have.
I don't understand that.
But
I don't understand
that's
that.
Also because a lot of people were like, oh, well, this isn't going to have lightsabers or space battles, so I'm probably not going to watch it. But then it turns out to be really good, and the word of mouth picks up, and then more people go and binge it after like the whole season's out, and then they get on board. They're like, oh shit, this was actually really good.
Yeah.
So Marvel properties can do that too, where maybe Echo isn't a massive hit like they want off, right off jump, but then 3 months down, 6 months down, also you see the numbers climbing because the word of mouth is building, and be like, oh, you got to check out that show. And people are like, you know what? Yeah, I was thinking about that show. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but and then they do, and it picks up. So at some point they have to also look at MCU properties if they're going to be making shows for streaming, right? As not every show is going to be an instant banger hit, like with just insane views right off the bat and is the weekly show that everybody is going nuts for, right? It's not every show is going to be Game of Thrones or something like that. It's going to have to be, I hope you washed your hands, you dirty son of a bitch. It's going to have to be, at a point where they say, okay, we're going to let some of these shows breathe, and they don't always have to be a massive hit right away. Let's let this thing grow. You can't make streaming shows and not have that allowance. You just can't.
See, my thing with Echo, I think all they need to do, bro, is show her fighting like some of the hand, kicking ass by herself, and people are going to watch it. You didn't need to have, like with She-Hulk, you had to have a She-Hulk promo. You had to have an Incredible Hulk promo. You had to see Daredevil for people to be. I thought it was going to be. All thought it was going to be good, but if those cameos were in that show would have really been bad. But Echo doesn't need that. She can carry herself. This girl has been a badass.
We need some badass. You show some badass fights, and people will get on board.
People will watch it. Right?
People were like, "John Wick, what the fuck? What's Keanu Reeves doing?" And then
that was 4 of them.
Oh fuck!
And that was 4 of them.
3 more movies, right? Echo can be the same, But even people who weren't familiar with Daredevil, right? They saw that hallway fight in the early episode,
and that was a wrap
of Daredevil on Netflix, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know anything about Daredevil, but now this is amazing."
It was a wrap.
Echo can be that same thing.
Yeah,
but like these shows, they have to be given room to breathe so that those characters can become the next Cap, the next Iron Man, the next they have to be willing to do that, and it's a good sign that we've been getting those. Those shows and Moon Knights and stuff like that. Now they've got to like actually commit to them. So,
because I think she'll be the first. She'll be the first one that we've seen in a while where it's not a bunch of cameos. You know what I'm saying? Needed to help sell her or help push her.
Yeah,
she don't need it. We haven't seen that in a while from. I guess I don't think TV or movies. Right? I mean,
I like
it's the first time.
They're making use of her. They're making use of the native aspect of it. I mean, we get a chance to basically see that, and they're going to stay true to that, and that's what I'm really again. I gotta harken back to what single songwriter said. Actors are going to act. Just give us some incredible writing, and then on top of that, what I love about her. I think, in my opinion, they picked the perfect actress to portray this character.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, 100%.
She looks just like the comic, dude.
they gave like, but you hear, but the problem is, bro, you hear it around, pretty much the community. Everybody was shitting on the character, and I don't think that they were
I
shitting
don't
on her
understand.
as a character, but they were shitting on the simple fact that they didn't give her as much meat as they could have, but it wasn't her story to tell
It was
in
Hawkeye.
this show.
Yeah, it was Hawkeyes, right?
But
And
I
Layla,
liked
just
what
like you
they
said.
gave us of her. I loved it.
And the
Yeah.
indigenous side of it, remember, like that
Yeah.
run that I mentioned, right? The 51 to 55, that whole thing is all about her Native American heritage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And finding out what like was going on with her father, right? All of this stuff. The art that David Mack did in this is insane in the writing. Wolverine is in this issue with her, and it's phenomenal. But like, yeah, these like this whole thing that I think
I love that
they're
cover,
going to
man.
be pulling from for the Echo show. The whole thing is about her learning more about her heritage and how that factors in to her life and to her relationship with Daredevil, and also to her relationship with Kingpin as her kind of caregiver and raising her guardian over all that time, right? And his relationship with her father and how that played out. So there's a lot that they can do there.
I love the fact that even in the Hawkeye show, like with Echo, we only got like a sample size of her. You know what I'm saying? As a character and what she can do and her relationship with Kingpin, her father, and everything else. Now, with her having her own show, people want to come back for more meat. They're going to want to have more meat on that bone for her to have the series stretched out with her at least 12 episodes. How many episodes is she going to have? Do you guys know yet? 12, 7.
They haven't given an episode count on.
No, they haven't released it yet.
No, this is now. So Charlie the Unicorn mentioned something that was funny, but kind of has some relevance here. So he said, "Wait a second, Wolverine assist in Echo show. Now the numbers would explode if he made an appearance." Now, so in that issue, like in that run, Wolverine, it's never clarified if it's actually Wolverine there or if it's part of her kind of spirit, like vision, right? And I think it's more the latter. I don't think it was actually Wolverine there.
Yeah,
but he still plays an important role in this arc, this like 5-issue arc. What if maybe they show not actually Wolverine, right? And they don't have him cast or anything like that. But what if, as some sort of kind of vision, we see a shadowed figure, like
with the claws out,
with like these claws out, silhouetted, something like that, as part of like a vision during this show. And
That'd
it's like just kind of like a tease for like Wolverine, exists in this universe, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's going to happen or that if it's even likely.
That'd be dope, though.
But if it did, that sure as shit would get people talking. And get a lot of people hearing that and then be like, "Fuck, I got to check this out." And
I got to watch it.
Check the episodes out.
Right.
That might. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, like again, I'm not looking for like a gimmick marketing type thing to like get people in there. But since he is actually a part of the original story, it would be kind of a cool kind of tease saying, look, we're not giving you the X-Men just yet, but this is a cool Easter egg, cool tease for people who are excited about it, and also a way to kind of add some legitimacy in the minds of people who aren't that familiar with the character, only know it from Hawkeye.
Put a little meat on the bone for the story. That'd be dope. They have a shadowy figure of Wolverine and like a vision. That would be sick.
Yeah, you don't even have to explain it or anything. It'd just be like
no face. No face.
That would generate some serious buzz for the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it would happen, but it would be cool.
Especially people that don't know the character, that aren't familiar with her, but everybody knows who Wolverine is. You know what I'm saying? That right there will pull in. She will get a double the effect she was already getting if they had that shadowy Wolverine, and like that'd be wow. That'd be big though. That'd be real big, man, for that show.
Single songwriter, address him as butt naked, please.
But yeah, look, and Echo could play a major role in the street level heroes
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they're fleshing out with.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like Marvel, and Disney doing their own version of the Defenders, different from the Netflix one. What if you've got Daredevil, Echo,
Echo,
Moon
Luke
Knight,
Cage, Moon Knight.
like and Spidey
Yeah.
do a street level team up like that, and Echo can play a major role in that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm just excited for those possibilities. I'm honestly right now. I mean, yeah, like everybody's talking about like Secret Wars and Fantastic Four and stuff. The street level stuff, I think, has me the most excited right now because I think that's the storytelling there. I think there are just a lot of untapped possibilities there.
But I think that's the thing. Like, I think right now, the major focus, too much of the focus has been on, just the cosmic aspect as
just
well
going
as
bigger,
and going big, whereas the street level demands such so much more.
It's like way in the back seat.
Do you think that they're gonna, because that's the vibe that I feel like they were trying to put forth about like Spider-Man, like that he was gonna get back to the roots of the character and and be that Peter Parker in the the crappy apartment and stuff and be more street level. Do you think that is what they're actually going to do? Or do you think they're going to, be like, no, dollar signs. We got to go bigger. We got to have like big spectacle Spider-Man movies with like the universe on the line. Like, do you think which direction do you think they're going to go?
Why not both?
I think he'll be like a little both. He'll be in between, man, because I really got a feeling, man, that the people that weren't on the planet when Strange put out the Forget Peter Parker thing, one of those guys coming back to Earth, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, they still know who Parker is. They still know Spider-Man because they weren't on the planet when he snapped. Or was that all Universal thing?
Well, but the other parts of like other planets and stuff are still part of the dimension because like remember like it's
anyone who
the magic is more applied to dimensions rather than like a specific world, right? Like in the books it's always like of like this dimension, dark dimension and stuff like that.
It's anybody who basically knows him, anybody who's come in contact with him who knows him knows Peter Parker as Spider-Man. So it doesn't matter. It's not just territorial, it's universal as well. Anyone who knows him. So that's basically where they were going. But
I got a feeling that's gonna wear off, man. I got a feeling that's gonna wear off at some point. I'm telling you.
It's definitely gonna eventually change. It's just that what they know about him before then might not be the same. You know what I mean? Like they'll probably find out that he is. A few people will. But again, this is them wiping away everything that we knew about Civil War in the first place. You know what I mean? Kind of like a reset. You know what I mean? Like one more sense. So that's
Julie's second kid. Don't you say Stiltman is a spectacle? Hey, don't knock Stiltman because there have been some good stories with him over the years. Just like we're as the example with Leapfrog tonight. Like, there have been there's actually not too long ago a pretty good story with Stiltman and Iron Man. So there are characters that sound kind of ridiculous, like Leapfrog,
Squirrel Girl.
Like that, but there are good storytelling opportunities with them.
But Squirrel Girl had
for me, I do hope they. What's that?
I said Squirrel Girl had some dope story arcs, some decent.
She's a beast, though. To be honest, she's funny as hell, but she is a beast, though.
But just don't bring her in the MCU. And the reason why I say that is because it would fuck everything up because they would make her so much of a fucking joke.
Yeah, I'll bet you $20 right now she's in Deadpool 3.
Man, no, they better not.
Squirrel Girl, like I guarantee you that would be like when
they're crazy enough.
They're too busy trying to push Tatum Channing as Gambit.
Oh, Remy,
they want to bring him in.
So they want to bring him in Remy.
So again,
don't do that.
They want him as Remy, dog. I don't like it either, but it's been what 5 years.
I mean, Squirrel Girl. I'm not worried about Channing Tatum as Remy. He's been trying to be
like 5 years.
1987.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen with him.
Say 87.
Mr. Fear is actually Mr. Fear is a good.
It's been a long time, bro. It's been a long time.
Shit, at least 10 years. 10 years. Because since what the original X-Men
Oh
movies,
yeah,
10, 15
it was
years.
long that.
15 years he was trying to be Remy.
Mr. Fear is actually a good character because Mr. Fear basically causes Matt Murdock's wife. Yes, he was married in Volume 2 to a blind woman, Mila, and basically causes her to have a psychotic break, and that fucks with Matt Murdock too. And there's a really good story arc with Mr. Fear. So that's another good character that we could see.
Rodney's face. I still refuse to believe they took a trilogy to get Spider-Man at street level.
That's some funny shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Some funny shit, bro.
I don't know if they're gonna fully commit to that street level.
I know, man.
You know, aspect with Spider-Man.
They just threw him in and just made him universal automatically.
But you know what I want. Though?
There's a way to do both. I mean, Batman makes sense. Batman makes sense fighting the Penguin and fighting,
Joker and Darkseid,
fighting against Darkseid and shit. Like he makes, if it's written well, he belongs. He makes sense with the Justice League fighting alien super beings like Mongol in that type
we
of
just
setting.
haven't seen them do
it's
that.
Just they
on
haven't
the cinematic side.
But with Spider-Man, they've already done that. They've had him break up bank robberies and
nuts in their
Thanos.
Cheeks.
You know what I mean? Like he's fought Thanos and
he's funny as hell. Single songwriter is crazy.
He's on some butt naked shit.
It is funny as hell.
Yeah.
But nah, I want his old tech to remember who he is at some point. I want something to break for him. Because now he's making suits.
At some point, other people
they will. They will. See, they're gonna know who he is, but I think it's a rewrite to kind of forget certain aspects of his story. They're gonna take certain things to fit.
They had this kid take his mask off every 5 seconds. There's somebody else is gonna figure out who he is.
I want Iron Man, his Iron Man stuff to remember who he is at some point. I want to see
Tombstone. I want to see Tombstone.
Yo, that would be fucking great. If they do this Tombstone story right, oh my god, bro. His brother working for the Daily Bugle and everything else, that'd be dope.
Yeah, dude, I thought they did a pretty good job with Tombstone in the
Into the Spider-Verse.
In the game. PlayStation game. They did a good job. Look, for me, if I'm thinking about what I want for Spider-Man right now, other than obviously at some point we get Miles, I'd like to see Tombstone and I'd like to see Black Cat. Like a cool, I like the character of Black Cat. Like, give me something that's like you've got the elements of the kind of like heist movie. You know, you've got the crime elements of the Syndicate with
Catwoman side.
It's too close to Catwoman. I've always felt she was a corny ripoff
of Catwoman, right?
Dude, I was excited when Felicity Jones was gonna play her in the Garfield movies too. I was, but I like the character of Black Cat.
Me too.
So I would be interested to see Tombstone and Black Cat. Those would be two that I would pull for in like more street level stories with Spidey.
I like in the game when she was like, "Oh, I had a baby." He was like, "What?" Because Peter had messed around. He thought it was his son. And she lied to him about the whole thing just to get him to help him. That would be a good story in the game, and to be seen on the big screen too. If they do her right.
There was an artist render of what's his name who plays Ned in the Spider-Man movies as Hobgoblin.
Yeah, it's like 2 years old, isn't it?
No, there was a new one that somebody just did because he lost all that weight too.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Somebody made him like no. There's one that literally a new artist did like a week ago.
Okay.
Oh, he's not fat no more. He's not big no more.
He lost the weight.
Yeah, he lost the weight a little while ago. There was one from a couple of years ago, but this because I saw that, but this was a completely different one, and I was like, "Fuck, this one looks amazing."
Right after No Way Home came out, like he had lost the weight and it was holding up. He had like an Instagram picture of him reading the Hobgoblin issue.
Yeah.
So to hint. But I think that was him like pining for it, like him trying to get like.
Oh, he wants it.
But he looked like that render of him. It looked fucking good, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I could be on board with that."
I can see him doing Hobgoblin, bro, because he's got that.
He promised he would never turn on him.
Yeah, I know, but
which
he got
means
that.
he's gonna like you
He's
can
going
you
to.
make that promise, so
He's
it's like,
going
well,
to.
damn, now
He
you
got
just
that.
I mean,
He got that. He got that
again,
frenemy vibe to him.
it
I can
depends
definitely
on
see it.
whether or not they take that angle because again, like I mean, we're looking at now we're going into his college years. You know what I mean? So this is where we're going in. So again, we know that Ned only had a certain level of influence on Peter up until a certain point. So I don't know if they're going to actually take it down that road, especially going towards the college years, if it's going to be one of those type of situations.
Well, what if Ned did like because now he doesn't have Peter as a friend in
Now he
his
doesn't know.
life and he doesn't remember Peter. So now what if he's trying to, what if he's somehow becoming a hobgoblin and Peter's trying to like make him remember, and
Now we're
something like that.
friends.
He's struggling because he doesn't
Mhm.
trust Peter because they
Mhm.
don't have that history anymore because
Mhm.
Ned doesn't remember it. That could be a pretty cool way to do it. And they are doing a kind of a roundabout thing with Ned Leeds and new hobgoblins right now in the books. So it could be, again, it could be them kind of mirroring what's going on in the books with what's going on in the MCU.
Something is going to break. Something is going to break for Spider-Man at this with either his closest friends or the Stark Tech, or something's going to break. That
Well, he
they were
doesn't
gonna
have the
remember.
Stark Tech anymore.
Yeah, it's none.
I thought he kept it everything. He didn't keep the
No,
suits.
No. Remember,
the Star Tech was
he's
removed.
so
That was after
I know he
Smith.
made his own suit at the end, but I
Yeah.
thought he kept all his Stark stuff because
that was the whole
Nah.
thing about like not having the tech anymore. Now he's the street level Spidey who
Yeah.
has to rely
Man,
solely
man.
on
Strictly
his
on
ability.
who he is, which is what
Yeah.
I've been waiting for the longest effing time.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Which, like, intelligent wise, we've been waiting on that forever. But
Yeah,
to say
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but to say that him just relying on his intelligence means he's no longer a larger scale superhero.
No,
that
Yeah.
I
I
would
don't,
agree
yeah, I
with.
don't mean
Yeah.
that.
Just
I
not
just mean
having
he
a
doesn't have
Star
access
Trek doesn't
to like
mean that now
satellites
he's
and
street level because he can still.
Yeah.
He
He
wound
could
up
build
in,
that shit.
He wound up in Secret Wars without any
Without it.
Iron Spider-Man
Right.
suit.
Right.
So he can
Right.
No, I
still-
just mean he doesn't have access to like satellites and
The Stark
drones. So
stuff.
like anything
Yeah.
that
He
he
wound
has,
up-
he has to
if
build
they-
himself.
If they
Yeah.
give us, which they won't because it's like
They
a
won't.
5-year plan, but if they
Mhm.
actually gave us the X-Men in Secret Wars and they gave us
Mhm.
that scene where he fucked them all up bro, without even
Yeah.
trying,
Oh, bro.
that would be
Yeah.
so dope.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be so dope.
Yeah.
They won't do
Yeah.
it though.
Yeah.
They
Well,
won't do that.
Yeah.
but
shit, bro.
I mean, at some point, I think you're gonna have to like. He's gonna have to take on that role of he's not just the kid in the MCU about he's a
Yeah.
powerhouse, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready for
Yeah.
that symbiote to get on him at some point that Venom left behind. So that's still in that universe. It's still in art and that.
Yeah, they left a piece of it.
616.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do it or not.
I just part of me
I'd
is
rather them like honestly forget that.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of happy
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
As cool as
yeah.
that scene was, like to get like
Yeah.
a workaround.
But I don't like
I
how
would rather them just start over and just have him
Do
on
something-
whatever.
yeah.
Have him on Secret Wars and get it. Like literally
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
on another
Yeah.
planet
Yeah.
fighting the Beyonder and just
Yeah.
do it like the comics.
I know
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are saying like, give
Yeah.
me Ben Riley. We're not gonna get Ben Riley. In
Nah,
like,
nah.
that's not.
The Clone Wars saga was one of the most hated things by the fans ever.
Yeah.
I don't want them
Yeah.
to
We
try
could
again.
see Ben as the Scarlet Spider in one of the animated movies at some point. Since
Yeah.
we're gonna see a bunch of different Spider people. and
Spider-Man.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's such a complex story to then
Mhm.
try and bring him in. And yes, they're doing stuff with Ben Riley right now and Janine Godby and stuff in the current books. But that's one that I think people always, people love like the idea and the design of like the Scarlet Spider, but then the execution of the stories was very controversial. So I don't see Ben Riley making a live action appearance anytime soon, especially since you can't bring in a Ben Riley when you still have Miles on the bench.
Right.
You got to bring in.
You're bringing Ben Riley and you trying to tell his whole story in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Nah.
Now I am
not gonna work.
nervous because they've been having the success with the video game and the success with the animated movie and the subsequent ones that are coming. I am kind of worried that Sony might decide, well, we're going to introduce Miles and he's going to be in our Spider-Verse and not
with
like
that Venom,
an
with
MC
Venom,
and not an MCU.
Oh hell no! I hope not.
Like
I hope not.
So I am nervous because with this Madam Web, where they're supposed to be, rumors are you're gonna have like, you know, Spider-Gwen and Aranya and you know, and these other ones, and Sony is doing the Silk TV series at Amazon Prime, right? So if they're going all in on that and they really want to flesh this out, you know, Disney and Marvel are never getting that fucking license back.
No.
So what's to stop Sony from saying, well, all right, we're gonna do our Miles?
I can see Sony doing that shit too. To have him in the middle of that bullshit ass universe with Venom and Morbius and Craven, the dumbass animal lover hunter.
Well, I don't want them to. When you think about it, it's like,
no, but I'm saying they would.
And you know what?
Right, they would.
And you know
who?
And you know who just basically left HBO? Actually, just left Warner Brothers Discovery and went straight to Sony. You know what company went to them right now?
Legendary.
Oh, God.
And Legendary basically does what? What do they do? Not only do they create films, but they fund their own films. They got money.
Legendary coming over is actually massive. And that's the other thing that Legendary producing and funding these. Legendary could actually make the Spider-Verse at Sony turn a corner. They might actually be able to do something good with that now. So before it was just the people that they had at Sony and Amy Pascal, and I had zero faith. But with Legendary over at Sony, because Warner Brothers fucking screwed that, and Zaslav was, I mean, there was no way he was going to be able to salvage that. He knew coming in that they were gone. But for them to go to Sony, that could be a boon for their Spider-Verse. So it sucks that I think there's a good chance that maybe something like that happens with Miles and we don't get him in the MCU. But at the same time, hopefully Legendary at least gives them a chance to do it well at Sony.
I think it'll happen. Something will happen like that. Something's gonna break.
I don't know. It'll suck though if Miles doesn't end up getting to be part of the MCU.
Yeah, I don't want that. He has to be.
But to be honest, I think that's a very strong possibility because again, why wouldn't Sony want to have Miles in there?
Right.
We'll see. Anyway, everybody out there, we hit the 2 hours and 11-minute mark. I'm not going 3 hours a night. Hell no. But again, great discussion. Vinny, you're up next week. Artist and your pick, and then following week, Jedi Pimp. You got to pick an artist, and you got to also pick your favorite run. And you know, a book that you want us to actually cover, a story that you want us to cover. But again, great discussion on Daredevil. Again, I'm not only just anticipating, you know, and the thing is, latest run. If you haven't picked up the latest run of Daredevil, make sure you get out there and do so.
New issue drops Wednesday.
Exactly. So make sure you actually do that. But everybody out there, thank you so much. Been a great show. Great start to the week. Vinny, aka the man with the master plan in the room. What's going on with you, brother? We were real quick though. Before we go, I got a $5 super chat by Mikey Lito. Thank you so much for that, bro. Appreciate it. Mikey says, as soon as my computer comes up and it stops acting like a stupid, these last 3 months have been very entertaining and informative. Appreciate the panel and Merry Christmas to all and the kids. Thank you so much, Mikey, man. I'm so glad to have you here, bro. Appreciate it, man. You know, we try to bring some knowledge, you know, as much as we can. You know, me, Vinny, Jedi Kid, and of course, Bucky Naked. You know, definitely. But Vinny, what you got going on, bro?
Lots more arts on the way. Did a lot of art over the past few months. That is print runs completed for, and site's been updated. So Christmas right around the corner. You want to get your friends and family or yourself some art, head over to vincentdunnart.storeenvy.com, or if you just want to keep up with what I've been having going on, check me out at Vincent Dunn Art. And you know, looking forward to getting into the swing of the holiday season. Lots of shopping, lots of you know, decorating. Christmas is at my house like usual, so it's a lot of prep for that, and just a lot of art projects on the way. I've just a laundry list of ideas that I need to get out of my head and onto paper. So I'm looking forward to that. As always, you can see me here on Comic Book Talk with Friends and Uncivilized Scoundrels every other Thursday, and talking Star Wars and you know, good time to be a geek. Always something going on. Always something about to be going on. So I'm looking forward to all the stuff that we got coming up. So
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
That's about it.
As always, if you haven't already followed Vinny at Vincent Dunn Art on Instagram, and the link to his store is there as well. You see it right up here in front of you, vincentdunn.storeenvy.com. So make sure you head on over there, man. As always, thank you for being here. Jedi Pimp, oh, actually, no, Bucky Naked. What's going on with you, bro? What you got going down?
Not much, man. It's actually after you got some client shoots tomorrow, but then after that, this month kind of starts to slow down now going into the holidays. So I have a little bit of breathing room. It's been a crazy couple of months. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of downtime leading up to the holiday. Wednesday is Willow, episode 3. Looking forward to that. I love me some Willow, so I'm excited for that. And then there is like a metric fuck ton of comics this Wednesday to read. Just on the Marvel side alone, it's insane. The new Dark Web event starts Wednesday with Dark Web #1. It's another Fantastic Four. Immortal X-Men, which is focusing right now on Mr. Sinister. That looks to be cool. Obviously, next issue of Daredevil comes out Wednesday, so that's first and foremost. But then there's also a new issue of Punisher that comes out same day. There's another Ghost Rider. There's a one-shot Thanos Death Notes that looks really cool. There's issue #2 of the new Secret Invasion miniseries they're doing, and then Avengers and what else is there? Oh, the adjective-less Spider-Man, the 3rd issue in that, which has been pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that one. There's just one that's got my butthole clenching a little bit. My ass is kind of gasping for breath. I'm just a little nervous, and that is on the new Miles Morales #1. I am nervous that, for one, the suit that they've had for a little while now is god fucking awful. I've hated that.
I don't like that suit. I can't stand
I'm
it.
hoping that
they change the suit every other fucking day.
Yeah, I don't like that. Man.
But this is one of the worst suits they've ever done.
I hate it.
Fucking like it.
I don't know what they were fucking thinking, bro, but I hate that suit.
I
so
saw
bad.
that and it was like somebody skull fucked me. It was so painful to look at. So I really, really hope that does not come back. But I am just a little bit nervous because the lead writer on this, I'm not the biggest fan of. He's done recent like Spider-Punk stuff. He was actually also one of the writing staff on the She-Hulk show. I'm very cautiously approaching this because I love Miles and I really want this to be good, but I feel like, one, they haven't been really developing any really good new villains for Miles for a while, and the creative team just has me a little bit concerned. But I mean, I'm not saying I could do any better. I'm just hoping that I enjoy what they bring to the table. So we'll see with this #1. It drops on Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know, but there's Brian Michael Bendis actually has another issue #2 of his series, The Ones, that comes out Wednesday, I believe, too. So and that's, again, that was everything I mentioned now was just on the Marvel side. That there's still DC, there's still Image and Boom Studios and all these others. So there's a lot of stuff. There's at least 20 or 30 books that I'll be picking up this week. So a lot of reading to be done.
Definitely, man. If you haven't already, follow Brendan, aka Butt Naked Assassin, at Collection Without Fear on Instagram. If you haven't already, make sure you do. Jedi Kid, Jedi Pimp, what's going on with you besides the simple fact that you probably already ordered at least 45 books during the show or prints?
I definitely did. I bought like 6 of them. I'm sorry.
You're buying David Mack a beach house.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been buying stuff. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
I had a rough week last week.
Yeah, bro. We
So
know.
I've
Definitely,
been
man. Definitely,
behind. But
Yeah,
I
bro.
gotta pick up some books tomorrow. I don't know what I bought. I just gotta go there and pick them up. This guy came in. It'll be on Figure Flex Friday. I can't wait to do my little pistols with this guy. Hold on.
What's good?
Let me see.
Who you got? Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the third party custom sculpt for Superior Iron?
You
yeah,
got
yeah.
You got that one.
Yeah, I got the red one. I wanted to put it on Mark 40, 45, I think. Is it 45?
Yeah.
The one from
Yeah, I think it's the 45. Yeah.
That thing looks amazing, bro. Like the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Like this
one's nuts. This is the one. So I got this. It's the standoff of that one. It's this.
You have it painted. You got somebody paint your Iron Man suit.
No, I didn't.
You're gonna do it yourself?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna paint it. I'm gonna basically use. I'm gonna use this one for.
Buy an extra one on eBay, bro, and just take the pieces off. You can airbrush them piece by piece.
Yeah, I have an idea how I'm gonna do it because there's a couple of suits that I can use this head sculpt on. It'll look.
I didn't get one of those, Jason, but I did get this guy.
Oh, how is it, bro? I was on the fence with that.
Dude, I'm digging it. I really do like it.
You like it?
I really like it.
I might cop it then, bro. I was on the fence with it.
I like the game.
I can't do it.
It's pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie. I dig it.
I might have to get that, bro. Because I saw Justin do his video on it yesterday.
Oh, I haven't even watched his. I just got this in this morning, but dude,
I'm literally broke. Well, I just got the notification that my spec fiction shipped.
Your Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, they finally.
Oh, so you're good now.
What's
yeah,
the
so I got the
when
notification.
Is it supposed to get delivered?
Well, I just got the notification today that it shipped. Like they're shipping it out. So their tracking hasn't updated. I got to wait till updates. So as soon as that happens, I'm definitely going to be excited as soon as it arrives. So yeah.
You have a space out for it already? Like you know where you're going to put it?
Yeah, right up there. It's going to be right next to like my DC section down there. So yeah.
I took my
Benny, you'll see it when you come through.
My Batmobile out the shed. I'm finally going to just go ahead and mess with it. Did
you get the 66?
No, I didn't get that one. I got the what's name on order though, the one from the last Batman movie.
Like the
Are you getting the DeLorean Jedi kit?
Nah, right now I got the
because they're sending out notification to everybody about that shit right now.
The tumbler, I got the tumbler over there in the box. It was in the shed for like 2 months.
Well, are you getting the Batman Begins?
I have the DX19
notifications coming out about that right now as well.
Oh, they are redoing it.
Dropping soon, man.
Yeah,
they reissuing it.
Yeah, they've been that was reissued. Yeah, they're
actually 1/6 scale.
Yeah. Hot Toys did a Batman. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I had it paid off already like a while ago. So yeah,
I've also got Batman Forever, Batman and Robin coming too when those drop. I have those pre-ordered.
Oh yeah.
You should be getting notification about that already then.
Well, see,
soon. Yeah,
I'm getting notifications.
Did you check your notification
for Cyborg?
Mine are coming first batch from Hong Kong, so it'll be whenever.
Okay.
Whenever they Hot Toys actually drops it, then it'll be.
Yeah. I didn't get. Yeah, I didn't.
Did you guys buy Cyborg already? I pre-ordered, but like it's keep saying it's delayed.
Oh, it's delayed. It's delayed February to March.
Yeah, damn, I ordered 2.
Yeah.
What Cyborg?
Yeah, because I want to have one Cyborg with the rest of the Justice League from the movie, but then I want to have one that I kind of weather and have it be the one from like the end of the Snyder Cut.
Nightmare.
In the future.
The Nightmare
be dope.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I might get another one. I didn't think about that.
So I'm not gonna do. Are you doing the DeLorean, Leo?
No, hell no.
I don't have
an attachment, bro. I don't have an attachment to any of those figures. Like I like the movie, but
I have Marty and I'm gonna get Doc, but I don't want to devote the space to. Honestly, I've kind of been like, you know what? I like vehicles just take up too much space.
Yeah,
I'm just not willing to commit to them.
because
I wanted the 66 Batmobile, but I was just like, nope. that the real estate that is required for that is just too much. And
My boy, I was at his shop. When I called you from. He has it. He loves it, bro. But it's fucking huge, dude. Like it's real big, dog. Like it's long.
Yeah.
So it's like I like it. It looks the lights. It looks fucking amazing. But I don't.
It's such a commitment.
Right. I have the Ben Affleck Batmobile and I have the Tumbler. So it's like
See,
I
have the tumbler here. I was waiting on the Batman Begins to release before I took it out the damn box because even with the DX19, it just doesn't. Nah, it's just.
Did you get the Bat Pod?
Mine fits. Yeah, I got a Bat Pod too. It's up there.
Did you get the Bat Pod, Leo?
Yeah. I've
so
had
you could have
pod.
the DX19 with the Bat Pod, and you could have the Begins with the Tumbler.
Yeah.
Well,
I have his armory too. The armory with Ben.
Catwoman. I wanted to get the Selena Kyle and have her on the Bat Pod because I like the way the aesthetically how it looks.
They reissued that one. Yeah, so that one.
I didn't like that version of Catwoman, bro. I'm about it one. They still have. I seen it on eBay. The one, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. That's the one I want.
Yeah, that's.
I don't want this one.
That's the one Vinny ordered. Yeah.
That's only aftermarket, but it looks dope though, bro.
So now, anyway, thank you guys out there. It's been a great show. I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. We're already hitting that 2 hours and 25 minutes mark. It's been a great show. Next week, we will return with with Vinny's choice of artist, and with book he wants us to kind of actually go ahead and feature. And after that, Jedi Kid will be back with his special Man of Steel pick. Because I know that's what he's going to pick.
It's something Superman. You already know that. I'm looking right now.
So definitely. Thank you guys so much. What's going on with me, man? Nothing, man. Like literally is nothing.
Jason, just pick this one up.
We got Say What Wednesday, of course. We have Uncivilized week after that. We have Collectors Lounge on Sunday. On Friday. Again,
Collectors Lounge is Sunday.
No. Collectors Lounge Sunday. We have Figure Flex Friday.
You got too many. You can't even keep them fucking straight.
You can't remember this shit.
Tired, bro. Just tired. Oh yeah, and also Rise and Chai on Thursday, 4:00. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, everybody out there, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us, man. It's been a great show. I'm tired as hell, so don't mind me. I'm going to get some sleep right after I get off the show. And yeah, we will talk to y'all later next week. See you guys later. Peace out.